I will reintroduce. My name is Desecration, and everybody, welcome back to the Gamers League $1,000 EU tournament. Today, I am joined by my man, the dream, the legend, Supatees. What is going on, my friend?
Hey, Desecration, I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready to start these games as soon as possible. We've got some pretty heavy hitting teams in this bracket today. We even have some US teams participating to try and bring their skills over the waters, even though it's online, still over the waters. But
Yeah.
I believe we're
Q
actually
pop.
pairing these teams up right now.
Oh
So we're
my
jumping
gosh.
into a game here, and I'm just going to do a quick thing.
Hey, let's head right into it then. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe we didn't get to say this, but in a surprise twist of fate, I will actually be casting today with Supa. So Anthony unfortunately could not be here today, but I'm gonna do my best. Obviously an RBG caster, but hey, let's kill it, man. All right, dude. So what do we got? So first game up, we got We Will Win Baba versus Grumble, and that would be the LSD versus the DK Windwalker Holy Paladin.
Yeah, and I've seen these two teams face off a couple of times, and I think from an unfortunate turn of events, the series was determined by disconnect. So
Ooh.
we're gonna see these teams go up against each other, and Jim's team ended up taking the win on the disconnect. So let's see if they're able to pull it off without that being needed to happen. And last time these teams fought, we saw a lot of swaps from Walrus's team onto Jim. Every time he exposed himself off the pillar, they were aware of that. Axe toss stunned him and tried to 100-0 him. Aside from that, they tend to be focusing Voltarius a lot more. And Voltarius is already trying to get in here to stop the gateway, and he's going to be able to. Zeepai unable to root him in place there. So Walrus without a gateway or a portal at the moment is just going to kite to the center of the map and start loading up some early damage. Actually popping the Dark Soul already, taking
Oh.
Volkovich down to 50% HP. Jim got Wind Sheared, I believe, on his cast there. Now he's into the Axe Toss done with a clone onto Voltarius. Walrus is going ham onto Volkovich, still at 50%, but the Dark Soul has faded, so his damage is going to diminish significantly, and he's just going to be building up that Demonic Fury for the next attack.
Yeah, Kilby going to be forced to set a full asphyxiate there, while Volkovich still sitting in Blood Presence, trying to reduce as much damage as he can. Jim dropping to 80% there as the damage begins to get reversed. Lockerbie also feeling pressure here as he pops the Shamanistic Rage. Chain Lightning goes out, and the Soulfire as well from Walkrix as they begin to pump big damage into Volkovich, and the sun does go out on the Jim.
Yep, and now into the Axe Tosser, swapping over to Jim with the Dark Soul, bring him down to 50% HP. The Chaos Waves are going to connect down to 30%, trying to line of sight all of these interrupts. He's going to have to pop the Avenging Wrath to play catch up here. The Earthquake stun even triggering there, slowing his heals down a little bit, but he should be able to top his team off here shortly. Zeepai now on the back foot at 70%, has to get Iron Barked by Looney, and this is a matchup that I believe is going to go to dampening no matter what. Zeepai down to 50%, but still has that Iron Bark up. Shamanistic Rage available in 9 seconds. Paralyzed onto Looney at the moment. It's going to break to the dots. He's got to play catch up with Zeepai's HP bar, but he should be able to handle it. DR leg sweep onto Zeepai now, still down at 50%. Looney going for some defensive cyclones onto Voltarius. Unfortunately, DR'd with the fear at the same time, a bit of a misstep, and they're not going to have that diminishing return anymore for Voltarius to peel, and that's Zeepai has to kite here. He's trying to push in, maybe trying to knock Jim into the center of the map, but he's taking so much damage, he's not going to be able to push back here for much longer.
Yeah, the asphyxiate does go out on the Kilby, and Lockerbie still sitting at around 50% there. He's been there for a while after the Iron Bark did call up. Walkrix, he's going to be popping that Dark Soul, trying to get a lot of damage off onto Jim, as both him and Volkovich drop down to 50%. The root is out on the Volkovich, just trying to get any peel, as they also do fear Jim into that. Voterich, on the other hand, will get cycloned here, and it looks like We Will Win Baba is just trying to peel off this team and focus their damage on the Volkovich, the DK, at this current point, as he's still forced to sit Blood Presence about 3 minutes into this game.
Yep, the Dark Soul getting popped here with the Elemental Mastery. They're trying to go for the 100-0 onto Volkovich. Axe toss onto Jim. They might swap over to him. He's down to 70% as well, but Zeepai is the one who's in trouble at 30%. The Iron Bark doesn't seem like it's enough at the moment. Looney pops the Nature's Vigil to get a little bit more extra healing. Jim popping Avenging Wrath to give his team a big boost as Volkovich gets chunked down to 30%. Now back up to 50. Jim spamming the cast out. Doesn't appear like they have any interrupts for him. He's going to be able to top his team here shortly, realizing that Looney's just going to cyclone up Voltarius, try and reduce the income incoming damage because he is losing the mana war at the moment. Now into the full asphyxiate, the Breath of Sindragosa coming out onto Z-Pi, the Shamanistic Rage to answer. Now Voltarius at 40%. The Chaos Waves are coming in even without Dark Soul, taking him down to 48%. Looney's pushing in. He lands the full bash onto Jim Jim. I don't think they have a Cyclone follow-up. They're going to fear him half duration. I don't know if that's long enough. Voltarius down to 30%. DR Shadow Fury. Chaos Wave connects. Going to proc to Saved by the Light. Voltarius line of sight's going to be able to heal himself back up along with Jim Jim, realizing that Walrix and Z-Pi are just going to trade the damage back over to Volkovich constantly. Whenever their target of choice is line of sighting, they're instantly switching to another.
Yeah, Voltarius was forced to pop big defensive cooldowns there, including Touch of Karma. Lockerbeat, of course, going to get Iron Barked here as Walkrix tries to line up some big damage on the Voltarius. He drops down to 50%, now 30, and Jim Jim pops the bubble at the last moment, trying to keep his team up desperately, spamming those flashes of light in the Voltarius as Volkovich and them both begin to drop to the pressure of this LSD 4 minutes into the game. The pressure, my friend, is so real right now.
Yeah, getting that bubble out of the way means that they're going to be able to swap to him pretty easily. They've just got to survive this stun CC chain onto Looney. They asphyxiate into Paralyze. It's 7 seconds long, taking Z-Pi down to 50%. Now a Hodge into Walrix. He's actually going to trinket that. He's trying to get his damage rolling here, and Jim Jim preemptively popping his Avenging Wrath here, predicting some incoming damage. Elemental Mastery is available for Z-Pi in 5 seconds. Walrix gets paralyzed on his Dark Soul just in time. Voltarius is dipping low, down to 40%. Jim Jim has to bop himself into a DR Shadow Fury. Voltarius desperately trying to line of sight here. I would imagine Walrus is going to try and find a new target. The Demon Bolt's being casted here over and over onto Volkovich, but with no Dark Soul, it didn't do too much. A Hex onto Jim Jim. He actually has to trinket that. They're going to swap over to Looney here. He's in bear form. He has the Bark skin up. Voltarius trying to take him down here, getting a cooldown out of the way nonetheless, possibly going to come back to him in the near future here. Looney still has his trinket, however, but Jim Jim's doing amazing on mana. All they need to do is keep surviving, keep the constant pressure out here, and I think that Grumble's got this game in the bag.
Yes, they absolutely do. They keep being able to drop this LSD very down low. I mean, it's just a trade going back and forth between these two teams. Lockerbeat, of course, drops to 30% here. He's going to have Dark Souls out in a minute and may be able to put out pressure, but it may not be enough as he continues to drop down to 40%. Killbait trying to desperately spam all of the rejuves that he can in the Lockerbeat and just try and top him off desperately. The Hex does go out on the Volkovich, and Jim Jim now going to get Demon Stun as he drops to 50% here. He's facing a lot of damage. Capacitor Totem does go down to 20%. He does not have his bubble right now. Volkovich also going to be Earthquake Stun there for a moment. They're both at 50%, and We Will Win Baba begins to reverse the pressure onto this Grumble team.
Yeah, but now that the burst is faded, they're going to be on the back foot. Voltarius trying to output some counter pressure onto Z-Pi as he's pushed so far forward. Voltarius dipping low here. Walrix portals into trying to, I would imagine, land of fear. He's kind of bad manner, hellfiring the entire team, building up his demonic fury rapidly to go for the next attack here in 17 seconds. He's going to get Iron Barked by Looney here. Nature's Vigil up as well. He needs as much healing as he can get as we are into dampening at 7%. Walrix, the Demon Bolts are flying out. The Axe Toss onto Jim Jim. He should be able to survive this, though. He's got the Avenging Wrath up. He just needs to get some heals off. Z-Pi, in the meantime, is down to 30% as well. Shamanistic Rage is going to be used to answer the damage. Fear's coming out onto Voltarius from Walrix here, trying to survive as he's building up more Fury. Z-Pi popping the Ascendance as well, trying to get some Lava Burst damage out, but Jim Jim's going to be able to line of sight. If he's not stun locked, I don't see him going down. Hodge thrown onto Walrix. He's going to trinket that. Looney spamming out the Regrowth here, but it's going to be taxing his mana even harder as we are at 10% dampening Jim Jim into a half duration Shadow Fury. He's going to bubble that to answer the Dark Soul and Elemental Mastery. Voltarius has got to be a little bit aware of the swap to him. He's going to get cloned. He's actually going to trinket the full clone, try and output some more pressure onto Z-Pi. He doesn't want him free casting here. Volkovich rotted down to 50% as well, and maybe dampening is going to start paying the favor of We Will Win Baba, but as I say that, Z-Pi down to 30%, dipping lower and lower, and Looney's having a hard time.
Yeah, the Iron Bark does go out. He's just trying to play as defensive as can. Paralyze also out in the Killbait into a DR'd Hex, I believe. Now, Volkovich and Voltrex both getting peeled here by those Druid roots, and Volkovich going to be put into a full fear. He was Unholy Presence for a little bit, trying to get out some big damage onto him, but unfortunately, he did have to swap back to Blood Presence for the time being, dampening now at 15%. Jim Jim also down 20% health, as well as Volkovich, the target of choice this Death Knight, as he begins to pop those siphoning heals into him.
Whoa!
Whoa, he does go down. Oh my god.
That's big damage.
That is big damage. My god. So they are able to drop him extraordinarily quick there in the beginning, and We Will Win Baba, taking the game into 17% dampening, will take the first of this. I believe it is a best of 3 series to go here. Volkovich still staying in there, but It will go over to We Will Win Baba. So the LSD late game, my friend, able to just bring that into dampening and have so much late burst onto that Paladin. They were just able to drop him just like that in the end.
Yeah, Walrick's even out damaging Volkovich on Death Knight. So playing Demonology, typically you don't see your overall damage being that high, but Walrick's mastering the spec and pulling it out there with the big numbers. Even Zeepai doing a consistent, reasonable amount of damage. They had a 51k fulmination. That's pretty large. I mean, most people don't consider elemental shamans right now at the top tier end, but Zeepai is finding a way to make it work, even in his specs Time of Darkness.
Oh, the Demonology dream, my friend. They've always been like a flavor of the month spec. You know what I mean? Like it's just it'll become viable for 1 month and then it'll just like no longer viable, non-viable. It's just one of those things. But Walcrick's able to do a massive amount of damage of it, and 80,000 damage. He had a big crit there from one of his Chaos Waves. Was his top damaging ability for that game. But either way, We Will Win Baba. This LSD is able to take it over Grumble, the DK Windwalker Holy Paladin, in the first game. We'll have to see how they respond here and what the next map may well be. What do you think it's going to be, Supa?
Typically speaking, I know Jim Jim's team loves to go to Tolvaron Arena, and I think they need to extend the game a little bit longer. I think Jim Jim just got caught out there, and I feel like they had a really big lead, and then they're like, okay, maybe we can end this. So he left the pillar. He just misstepped by like 2 feet to the left, and Walrus is like, hey, that's Jim Jim in the open. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to instantly kill him. All right, good job. And then that's how the game ended. So I really feel like Grumble, like as long as they can keep their consistent pressure rolling, make sure that they're always positioned and aware of what We Will Win Baba is trying to do, that they can prevent themselves from dying like that. But it's being keeping your composure for that long is the key. Don't overextend.
And they have good reason to go to that map, too. Jim Jim actually has a 65.8% win rate on it. That's his highest win rate across all his maps. But his worst map is actually, a little tidbit of information here, is Ruins of Lordaeron. And he has a 62.3% win rate on that. So he's pretty even across the board when it comes to his win rates. But Tolvaron being his favorite arena overall. So
do a quick refresh.
Yes, we will. So we're going to full screen this? I think you can. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. I was like doing it in non-full screen last game. I couldn't see half the cooldowns.
All right, so moving into the second game here, We Will Win Baba taking the lead 1-0 at the moment, as opposed to Grumble playing the Walking Dead Cleave versus LSD. An interesting comp matchup to say the least, something that we don't see very often on the ladder. So it's nice to see these players playing these compositions. I mean, LSD was more standard last expansion and previous expansions. I mean, pretty standard, and now it's kind of been adapted from these players to play Demonology so that they can continue playing the comp that they like to play. Let's see if they're able to pull it off here on Tolvaron Arena, the map choice of Grumble. And Voltarius already crossing the map. Looks like he wants to try and stop the gateway. He's going to be able to with that Paralyzed. He's pushing in here, maybe going to throw out the leg sweep here shortly. Walrix drops his portal, kites to the center of the map. Going to be building up his Demonic Fury here. He's got full dots onto the entire team. Jim Jim positioned very far back, trying to throw some denounces to reduce Zeepai's damage, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Voltarius down to 40%, throws the Fist of Fury out onto Walrix. Jim Jim caught in an Axe Toss stun right now. Walrix looking to get a full fear out of that. Jim Jim doing a good job line of sighting that, kiting away from the fear out of that stun. Voltarius should be able to survive as a result. Zeepai looking for a Hex. He's actually going to land the full Hex onto Jim Jim, putting a lot of pressure on a Volkovich. They're going to swap, I believe, to Voltarius off the AMS. They're actually just crushing him through the AMS. Both players down to 50%. Jim Jim trying to play catch-up. Walrix spamming the Chaos Waves out here. Shamanistic Rage was used in the meantime by Zeepai to stay offensive. He wanted to remain healthy to get that damage out, and he did force the wings out from Jim Jim. Looney getting gripped in here and swapped to Volkovich, going to get knocked out of line of sight of Jim Jim, and now Jim Jim caught in a Shadow Fury into a full fear. Volkovich gets bashed up at 50%. Icebound Fortitude comes out here. Voltarius trying to give him some heals here with the Surging Mist. He's going to get locked out by Zeepai. Volkovich has to AMS. Jim Jim getting feared over and over and over. His Avenging Wrath is over. The Dark Soul Demon Bolts come in. Volkovich down to 30% HP. Jim Jim pops the Aura Mastery in desperation to get him topped off here. He's going to be able to survive. It's 68 now into Looney. Zeepai on the back foot.
My God, this LSC able to put out so much early game burst, not even a minute and 30 seconds into this game. They already forced the AMS, the Icebound Fortitude, and so many other cooldowns out of Volkovich. He's in a very bad spot right now. They may have to look to peel back. He's going to be sitting Blood Presence for the time being, and he's just death siphoning to try and get as much health as he can back. Jim, of course, going to be dropping to 52% here. He's still holding on to his bubble and Bob, so he should be fine for the time being. And Lockerbeat, of course, still holding on to that Hex. I believe he did try and get that off, but was interrupted on it. The Cyclone does come out from Kilbay, and they're trying to do what they can here to try and hold on to this game.
Yeah, and Touch of Karma actually being forced out from Voltarius here onto Zeepai. Looney caught into a leg sweep. They're going to be looking for a swap here, and he's going to bark skin immediately. The Fist of Fury follow-up. Looney getting dipped here. Zeepai off-healing with these healing surges, going for a defensive hex, I believe, onto Voltarius. He's going to land that. It's unfortunately going to break to the dot damage. Jim getting pressured by Walrix. He's looking to land a full fear. He does manage to land the fear here. Demon Bolt's coming out onto Jim in that axe toss, taking him down to 40%. The wall doesn't look like it's going to be enough. The Fulmination connects. They get through the save by the light absorb. He's going to have to bubble on top of all those cooldowns. He's going to be able to survive this swap. In the meantime, Looney's gone through his Barkskin. He's gone through his Iron Bark. Voltarius and Volkovich outputting a lot of pressure at the moment. Walrix has to rebuild the Demonic Fury, throwing a gateway to Looney, so he's going to have another kiting tool here if they decide to keep tunneling after him. Voltarius trying to get chase after him on that gateway. He's going to be able to get out of line of sight. Voldrix looking for some fears onto Jim. They want to set up onto him again. Zeepai getting hodged on his Hex there. There's the axe toss. Walrix going in for the kill. The Chaos Waves are coming out here. Shadow Fury onto Jim into a full Hex. Voltarius and Volkovich dipping low. Jim actually choosing to pop his Avenging Wrath. Going to be able to top his team instantaneously with that. Now Looney caught in an Asphyxiate. Zeepai down to 50%. Volkovich and Voltarius trying to output some counter pressure onto Zeepai, bringing him down to 50. He's going to be able to survive as Looney is no longer crowd control. They're going to swap over to Walrix, bringing him down to 49%. Looney's going to use that on-use trinket, trying to get as much extra healing as he can to top off Walrix here. And now Grumble going for a split strat. They're sending Volkovich onto Walrix. Voltarius going to reconnect, however, still bringing him down to 60% here. The Avenging Wrath has faded for Jim, and I believe that We Will Win. Baba is going to look for another setup onto Jim.
Yeah, they may look to go into dampening too here. I mean, the Dark Souls was popped out by Walkrix. They set that up beautifully with the Elemental Mastery, but Jim just so masterfully able to counter that with the Avenging Wrath and keep his team up for the duration of their burst. Walkrix now forced in a little bit of pressure there in a Fist of Fury, but the Iron Bark will come out of Looney. Walkrix still going to probably be topped off here as they try and melt this Volkovich, Voltrix, Jim team. They're both down to 60%. Jim, of course, feeling a little pressure. They're going to be forced to bop himself, but it's going to be purged off instantly by Lockerbeat as Walkrix does pop a Dark Soul, but not really too much damage is going to go out from that so far into this game. Jim facing a lot of pressure, does not have his bubble, but is able to top himself up there at the very last moment and bring himself back up to 100% as the Save by the Light proc does go off.
Yeah, Zeepai down to 50% with a Paralyze on the Looney, 48%, trying to off-heal himself here. Voltarius not getting fake casted there. They still have all their interrupts available. Cyclone's coming on to Voltarius. He's actually choosing to trinket that. Avenging Wrath gets popped by Jim here to try and deal with the pressure coming out. And he's going to get full feared here, I believe, out of the Shadow Fury. They're actually just going to swap to him. The Dark Soul gets popped into the DR to Axe Toss. They don't even care that Jim has the Avenging Wrath out. They're trying to take him down through it. The Demon Bolts are flying out from Walrix onto Voltarius now, chunking him down to 50%. But because Jim had this Avenging Wrath out preemptively, he's going to be able to top his team off. So well played by Jim and a bit of an over-aggressive play out from We Will Win Baba. Jim unfortunately getting locked out, trying to desperately run away here at 50%. Walrix is just standing right on top of him, spamming the fears. Volkovich sitting a relentless amount of roots out from Looney. He's going to get asphyxiated. Jim down to 40% in the center of the map. He's going to have to bubble out of that stun to keep his team healthy here. And this game is looking a lot different than the last.
It absolutely is. Lockerbeat, of course, going to be popping that Elemental Mastery there, trying to line that up with Walkrix's next Dark Soul Burst. Volkovich is going into the full Earth Stun there as Volderich is going to drop down to 70% at this point in time. Jim very much out of cooldowns there. He did force both of his bobs and his bubble. He really doesn't have a lot so far, and this is going into dampening against an LSD. They are feeling the pressure at this point, and Jim he's got to get some cooldowns back. Looney, he's going to sit a full Asphyxiate here as Lockerbeat is forced to pop his wall. Walkrix stopping down to 20% as Lockerbeat begins to feel pressure. They're damaging him through it anyway. He drops down to 30%. He's got to get himself picked back up. Oh, Jim faced the pressure from Walkrix Dark, so he drops down to 5%, 10%. He will go down, and We Will Win Baba will take the series over Grumble. Whoa.
Those Wally bolts are too hard to handle, man.
Oh my god, the big daboosh, man.
Wally waves and Wally bolts.
Wally, where's Wally? No, it's Waldo. Excuse me. It's too strong, man. It's too strong. So what do we got up next? That was a pretty good series. I'm not gonna lie.
We have Rocket Gaming, which is Babo the Mage, and I believe that they're playing God Comp. Yeah, they're playing God Comp, and I'm assuming they're playing with their main team, Miley and Frofsy. They're going to be going up against Damages My Image, which is Blizzo. And if they're playing with the standard players they normally play, I think it's going to be Spitz Coffee and Blizzo, Spitz Coffee, and Nefo, the Mistweaver Monk, I believe. Actually, no, they're playing Kitty Cleave. What? I'm looking at the thing, and it says Kitty Cleave.
Really?
I'm not sure who they're playing with if he's playing Kitty Cleave, but Blizzo is the Lord of Damage himself on Warrior, so Kitty Cleave is going to be a lot of pressure. Interesting that they're choosing to play this. I don't think I've even seen Kitty Cleave in a tournament, so the first time that this has really been played, this expansion in a tournament. So we're going to see how well they do. They're going to be going up against a pretty standard comp and a pretty well-known team. Been participating in a lot of tournaments, not really having the greatest success, but they've been doing pretty well. They've been taking down some big name teams here and then, so they're definitely a worthy opponent here. And we have to wait and see when we queue up here into the next series between Rocket Gaming and Damage Is My Image.
Hashtag new meta, boys. That's what it's all about. I love seeing these new comps in the tournament, you know, that people willing to like try something new. It's always cool. So I want to touch on these for a little bit, actually. I have a few notes on them. So Elite Gamer, these guys, I believe, were in the last tournament. And actually, I'm not sure. Are they going up against Damage Is My Image? Are we on the same page, Supa? Elite Gamer versus Damage Is My Image? It's Elite Gamer versus Damage Is My Image, right?
No, Rocket Gaming.
Rocket Gaming. Oh, really? I don't have... Oh, I must be looking at the wrong bracket. Either way, I'll touch on Damage Is My Image for a moment. They did compete in the Blood in the Water tournament, and they lost their first series, but they made it to the second round of the losers bracket, where they fell to Reawakened. So they're a really good team, and Blizzo, he's actually has a current rating of 2903, and he has a lifetime high of 3103. So best map as well for this Damage Is My Image team is actually Toveron Arena. So a little tidbit of information here. They have a 65.3% win rate on that. So they may like to go for that after the initial map pick there.
And I think it should be a compliment when people like know you by name and they automatically, oh my god, that guy kickbots. Like everybody thinks that Blizzo kickbots, and I'm like, okay, if he kickbotted, he probably would be banned. I don't think he does, but the fact that like at that point, if I'm Blizzo and I'm sitting there and people are like, man, they think I'm a kickbotter, I'm really kicking, I guess, because I'm not. So like, it's like a compliment when people insult you like that and you're not using it. So
pretty much, yeah. I mean, you got to be on point with them. Oh my god, it is a compliment.
Do we? Excuse me, guys. Do we have either of these guys B tag? They're not contacting me for some reason.
Not too sure. To go backstage for that. Let me check.
I'll try and see what I can find. But they should be. Oh, you've got Blizzo's team?
I think I've got Blizzo's now. I just need the other guy.
Okay. A wild Giga Snail appears, everybody.
He's secretly King Mechator.
Oh my god, I love that. Freaking the glasses, the gnome glasses Giga was wearing earlier today was beautiful.
But it's gonna be interesting. I haven't seen this matchup happen a lot. I know from some of the U.S. Kitty Cleaves, there's some that more traditional Kitty Cleave standard just train the healer down, run him into the dirt as fast as possible. And then there's another way of playing it where the Feral Druid spreads bleeds to all three players and kind of LSD melee style rots the team down and just tries to output as much pressure as they can. So it'll be interesting what they decide to go for. They're going to be facing a God comp, so there's a lot of control on that side. And the Feral Druid's going to be really exposed. And it really comes down to what healer they choose to play with. I'm not sure if they're playing with a Paladin.
Yeah, they didn't list it on here.
So it'd be interesting who they're choosing to play with. I know Blizzo plays with Nefo a lot. And I know he plays with Resto Druids. I don't know if they might be class stacking. It's probably unlikely. They're probably playing with the Holy Paladin, would be my guess. So they're going to be using like Stormbolt and Hodge, trying to cross AC with their stuns. But I'm really interested to see what strategy they go for. If they're just going to run at Miley for the entire game, or if they're going to kind of split their pressure up, try and Miley and drag the game out.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
God Cup, of course. I mean, probably some of the best CC in the game with that. They could always drag out in the dampening too if they wanted to, but I mean, you never know. Depends on what they're going to do. I'm not too sure. I have to see, though. Giga, how's it looking, my friend?
It's not looking too good. These guys
Ooh.
are not ready to go.
Uh-oh.
Not
That's not
accepting the B tag ads. Lizzo's on my B tag. He's offline.
good. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Lizzo, did you forget you had a
Man.
tournament today?
Listen,
And then
did you forget
Bavo
that there was
has
$1,000 potentially on the line.
Bavo himself is not
$1,000
even-
for playing video games? Nah, I'll pass.
I'll pass. I've won tournaments before, but I probably won't win this one, so I'm not gonna log
Rather
on.
sleep in.
I'll just sleep. It's not worth the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Is the other team here? Is Miley's team or Babo here?
They have not accepted my ad. So
Okay.
Blizzo's
I'll log on
accepted
my
the ad
account.
isn't online.
I'll log on my account and
Mm.
see. I have
Babo
Bob-
is the one.
I'll try and see if
There's
I have
Babo.
Babo.
So now Babo's here.
Oh,
He did accept
okay.
it this time.
Hey,
Nice.
okay. Okay.
So I think we're just waiting on Blizzo to wake up or wherever he may be.
Let's see if I have him on Skype. I don't think I do. Or if I do, he's listed with his real name and I don't remember.
Wakey, wakey, Blizzo. You have a tournament today.
Wakey wakey, eggs and bakey. You gotta play threes here.
I actually might have him on Skype. Let me try to see.
Wait, it's 7. Hold on. It's 7 o'clock in Europe. So they're
Yeah,
okay,
why
it's
is he
like,
asleep?
Yeah, why would he be asleep? I just realized that.
I know my sleep schedules kind of get messed up, but not that
Yeah, no. Mine is a little messed up too. I usually up pretty late, but never have I ever slept until 7 o'clock. So I don't know if it's that.
far. Although
Yeah.
there have been a lot of personal issues for a lot of teams, even our co-caster friend Anthony. So maybe
Yeah.
this is just a bad day. I mean, people are just having a bad one. And
no?
yeah,
What can you do?
life is gonna give you problems. You can't avoid it.
Mm.
What? Okay. That was some
I don't know.
next level theory crafting with Suppetees over there.
All you
What did you just say?
prepared,
Life is going to be
man.
difficult. You can't avoid.
Life
What did
is-
you just say?
Yeah, life is gonna give you problems. There's nothing you can do about it.
You can always
You,
make
just have
lemonade.
to, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. So maybe he's dealing with it, right? Like he has to pick.
Ah,
Like,
yes.
I could stay and my mom's in the hospital. I could be playing a WoW
Oh.
tournament. I think I'm gonna go to my mom.
Yeah, I hear it. It's got
I mean-
heavy very quickly.
I mean,
Yeah,
what? Like,
free
think about-
philosophy lessons.
am I gonna play video games or go see my mom who's in the hospital? Like maybe his mom's in the hospital. Maybe we need to send a prayer
Hopefully
out to
not.
Blizzo.
Yeah. Can we get a priest in?
Send her our strength.
Who's a priest made in here? Has anybody made a priest?
I play a
Gigasnell does.
priest, but
Oh, Giga, would you like to lead the altar?
Everyone bow your heads. Ilictus Sancti. Kamehameha. There you go. It's a little-
this is getting.
Oh,
It's not
boy.
Sunday.
Well played. Okay.
I want Saturday morning cartoons. Can we just turn SpongeBob on?
I think Twitch would ban us. Pretty sure
Really?
we're not allowed to stream that.
We
I
can't
mean, would
just turn
they ban
SpongeBob
you
on?
for SpongeBob? I don't know.
Yeah, they would. They would copyright infringe. Probably. ban.
Okay, let's edit it. We'll go get a SpongeBob episode and like edit it so it doesn't look exactly the same, and we'll do voiceovers. So there's no copyright. There you go.
Oh God, who's gonna do the high pitched squeaky voice of SpongeBob?
I can do it.
I wasn't even assuming was that you.
SpongeBob here.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Oh man, we gotta get someone for Mr. Krabs, Patrick.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
Who's Mr. Krabs? That's
Mr.
such an
Krabs-
awful name for somebody.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting SpongeBob lore here. They're the Krusty Krab is actually a lobster trap. So It's ironic. If you've ever noticed it, you can look up a picture of it right now. I don't know. We should probably get a picture of it on stream or something, but it's actually a lobster trap. So a little ironic there, I
We
guess.
should probably just take a quick commercial break here
Yeah.
because this team is obviously not prepared. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
tuning in, though. Pretty good series to start things off. Hopefully, we can get this one on the road here shortly.
Amen. Hopefully so. Let's cut it over, and we will be right back.
Do that.
DQ. DQ.
Oh, yikes. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that?
Hmm?
It's like thunder. Oh, my God.
Oh, we're
Oh,
live?
we're live? Oh, hello, and welcome back. Oh, my God. Well, from what it looks like, Blizzo will not be showing up today, so could I get a resident sleeper in chat for the moment? But he will be.
Good series
showing
out of
up.
Bobo the Mage does take it.
He
Puts
will
Blizzo
take
in the
it.
full sleeper.
Well played. He slipped
GG.
some pills into Blizzo's water before he went to bed. No, I'm kidding.
The stream went from blood in the water to pills in the water. Oh my God. So let's talk about the next team here that we got queued up. And it's I Wish BM Was Viable versus Asper. And of course, going back to that, the other team there will advance. And so I Wish BM Was Viable versus TBA Asper. And they are playing the Jungle Cleave versus Mage Moomkin. And I don't believe that they listed a healer on here.
Assuming Paladin. It's pretty
Yeah, probably.
mandatory to have a Paladin. I don't see that comp working very well without it. It just synergizes too well with Deep Freeze and the damage that they do. Similarly to God comp, where you have setups every 30 seconds on the Deep Freezes. But they're going to be playing the Mage Boomkin Paladin, and they're going to be going against Jungle Cleave. And yesterday in the U.S. tournament, one of the teams had an option to go Jungle Cleave, and I said that it would be suicide to play Jungle Cleave into this. And I'm not sure what the EU teams have done to try and adjust to this composition, but it seems to be pretty dominant in the US. So let's see if this Jungle Cleave can show them what's up in the EU. Be like, hey, you know what? We are better than your US opponents, and we know how to take you down. So we have to wait and see if they're capable of that.
You can only dream. So I want to touch on these teams real quick. So as far as their history goes, I Wish BM Was Viable. They're actually newcomers to the Gamers League arena scene. They haven't competed in any Gamers League tournaments before, first time around. And do you know have they competed in GCD? Any idea?
Who? Asper's team?
No. Dudu Pharaoh's team. I Wish BM Was
No,
Viable.
they've competed in if it's the same people, if it's Taz GG, and I believe the Pharaoh's even his name is Dudu Pharaoh. I'm losing my space in as far as the Resto Shaman's name, unfortunately. But I believe that they're probably keeping the team that they've always played with, and they are playing with the Resto Shaman. If they
Were
are
they?
doing that,
Do you know if they
so
compete in GCD TV though?
they no, I don't think so. I'm
Oh, so
pretty
this
sure
might be their
no.
first showing.
But they no, they've played in Pro Game X before, and they've played in
Okay.
um. I for some reason I feel like they played in the last Gamers League tournament too. I'm
I
not
looked it up. I'm
100%,
not sure if they were or not. I didn't see the name on there, so
but I
maybe.
recognize
Yeah.
their team name. I recognize their team name, and I recognize the players. So they've played in
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, they
I don't
definitely
think
played
they've
something.
been the most successful, but they've definitely. I don't remember them getting knocked out very quickly. I think they made it reasonably through the bracket, and then were knocked out like halfway through quite a few times. So we're gonna see if they've improved and if they're able to make it through. And they've got a pretty big Titan team to take down. And I know that is Majin back? I'm assuming he is since I see him in chat. So it's going to be Asper, Majin, and what I would assume is Floria, unless they made a substitute. So
Yeah, I would
it's going to
imagine.
be their main team, and they've been pretty unstoppable in the U.S. as far as I'm concerned. Like no team has been able to
Oh
take
yeah.
them down completely. So let's see if these EU teams can stand up against them and take them out, or if they're just going to succumb and fail. Really, um,
We
I'm
shall see.
actually what I want to see in the future. Like I'd be most excited to see is Walrick's team fight Asper's team and see how that plays out because I haven't seen that matchup happen, and not a lot of people play LSD on the US, so I'm interested to see how it plays out. But in this series specifically, it's going to be Jungle Cleave going up against Mage Boomkin Paladin, and maybe the rest of Shaman on the side of the Jungle Cleave gives them a little bit more versatility to deal with the crowd control. They're going to have the Master's Call to get their Shaman out of the Root Solar Beam. He's going to have his own utility through Gouting Totem and Wind Shear to interrupt incoming CC. His Hunter, I believe, which is going to be Taz, and Duty Feral and the Feral Druid are just going to have to be looking to shut down the CC when Deep Freeze is available. And survive those deep CC chains, like break the chain up, because if their Shaman gets even one heal off, he's going to be able to top him off.
You pup.
But we are
Hey,
tuning in, so we should be able to jump into this series right away. And
Reload the
I'm
page.
just going to, yes, exactly. It's Joxy. That's the Shaman's name.
hey, there we go.
Wait, my refresh is not working. Oh, no, it did. All right,
Yeah, it takes a moment.
and it is
Okay.
Floria Asper, Maiden Maiden Team, Taz,
Oh boy, the
Duty
dream.
Feral, and Joxy playing the Jungle Cleave. And wait, one team left. I think there's a problem. As I said, I think that I Wish BM was viable as the underdog of this series. So if they're
Yeah,
able to
by
pull it
far.
off and beat them, like I think that's going to say a lot for their team. Like they're pretty impressive if they're able to pull it off.
I mean,
But-
Asper right now, I did some statistics on him, right? He's actually at a lifetime high for his 3v3 rating, and he's standing at 3,024 CR, which is incredibly impressive.
It's like 3,000 on like 2 druids.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's why they seem unbeatable. I think some teams are able to take games off them, but they're never able to consistently beat them, which is the key.
Hmm.
So they've obviously got a problem, and let's leave it to them to fix it. But it should be an interesting series nonetheless. And I feel like this Hunter's going to explode. Like he's just going to be like, I'm going for a trap. I'm going for a trap. I'm hodged. That's a Star Surge. That's a nice Lance. Okay, I'm dead. Let's try again. like he doesn't stand a chance. Like it's literally like he's a one man facing an avalanche running down at him. Like he's gonna have to push through an avalanche to be able to win, in my opinion.
Yes, the Avalanche, which is this Mage Moonkin main team. Oh my god. You can just imagine like the burst that this team is going to present with the solar beam will go out. You just get that huge mage burst coupled with that. I mean, you can drop somebody so quickly with that kind of a comp. It's a dream team. I used to run
Yeah.
what was that one? It wasn't the best comp, but it was Undead Chicken Cleave, I believe it was called.
Oh, DK Minkin?
Yeah, DK Moonkin. That
Yeah,
was a lot.
Melby had a different name for it that's not appropriate for the stream, so I'm not going to say it. But he was the first person to really play that. I have fun playing that. It's just a lot
It's
of
a ton
mage
of fun,
teams,
yeah.
like, they shut you down so
Yeah.
much that you don't get to the point where you're like, yeah, you're all dead. You never get to that point. So you have to survive for so long to get there, which is the main problem. But it is pretty
It's very
fun to
easily
play.
countered, but it's a lot. Yeah, it's so much fun to play, but I mean, it's a pretty counterable comp, so this is the only downside to it. I played that
But-
back like season 15. That was a while back. Either way.
That was only like 6 months ago. Time flies, man. Time flies.
Actually, oh my god. Yeah.
Like I was at BlizzCon and I was
Jeez.
like, man, there's a whole year until the next BlizzCon, and I'm like, okay, now there's only half a year, if that. Like, the time doesn't seem to be moving slowly at all.
It goes quick in this realm of World of Warcraft. Are you going to BlizzCon this year, by the way?
Yeah, I have a ticket to go no matter what, just
Hey.
in case. And then yeah, so it'll be fun. Went last year; it was a lot of fun. But we've got.
I do apologize. I got the wrong team name for Team Asper. I'm gonna let this game play out and then I'll correct the team name. My apologies to Team Asper.
Oh, good.
What is their team name?
Their team name is Repoly JK 200 Ping. I don't know
yeah,
how I'm gonna
that's
fit
the
that
other.
all in.
That is the other factor, is that they are playing with high latency, as they're normally playing on the U.S. and North American
Yeah, that's
ladders.
true.
So they're going to have higher latency than expected. And just to remind you, I think we should do a quick refresh.
Just from an RBG thing here, perspective. Now, Asper, of course, was the boomkin on ABN's USA Proxy PKBS 66 ABN's team that won the Battle of the Atlantic, and they had to play the eHeroes team. The top European team had to play on US ping that time. So now the table's turned, and they have to play on European ping.
Yeah, so let's see if they're able to overcome that latency difference. And if you don't have a lot of practice, I'm not sure what their EU characters are rated if they play a lot on the EU ladder. So we'll have to wait and see if that does end up playing a factor here. But the gates have opened on the Grand Arena as we're Majorden taking to the center. Already loading out Moonfires onto Taz. Dudu Feral going to be opening up here shortly, I would believe, on the Asper. Sitting back for now. Majorden building up Icicles, going for some early Polymorphs. Actually landing the Deep Freeze, trying to go for the full Ring of Frost onto Jox. He's going to land that with a Hodge onto Dudu Feral into the DR Bash. Already taking him down to 30%.
Oh!
14% HP through the Survival Instincts. Desperation Incarnation coming out from Dudu Feral to make a turnaround on the Asbury. He's going to trinket out of that Rake Stun. The Murder of Crows taking him down to 50%, but Feloria immediately answering that with his Avenging Wrath. And now Dudu Feral still down at 30%. Joxy finally leaving the crowd control, trying to get some heals out here. Dudu Feral burning through another Survival Instincts. He's got no more shield walls left. At this point, he's going to have to retreat or just go for it, but he's caught into a full Hodge. He's going to trinket that. He pops the Berserk. He's trying to make a turnaround again onto Asper, but the full trap is going to land on the Feloria. It actually broke to the bleed damage there. I don't think Taz is playing with the glyph, so that trap's going to break. They could have got a lot of pressure with that. Feloria just spamming the denounces. Clones coming out from Asper. They're going to wait for that deep freeze and set up once again here in 10 seconds.
They absolutely will. Joxy's still holding on to one Spirit Link Totem. He has that available for this next burst from this intense team. Feloria going to be caught in a full trap there. They're looking to try and reverse something on Asper. The Hex does go out in the Major in there. They're just trying to stall this pressure out for as long as they can. Joxy caught in the full deep there, and they're going to try and reverse this very, very soon. And I believe that the Ring of Frost was interrupted there from Major as he gets caught in a full Cyclone.
Yep, Dudu Feral into a clone from Asper here. Deep Freeze not available for 15 seconds. Majorden just playing in the center of the map, going to be building up the Icicles here, setting up defensively before he pushes back through. Dudu Feral actually, while charging defensively, he doesn't have any cooldowns left, so he's going to be line of sighting here. But now Taz is caught in the center of the map in a full Hodge! Very quickly. And yeah, just getting caught out with no trinket. Dudu Feral abandoned ship behind the pillar, and I don't think it was communicated with Taz, and he wasn't expecting to go down that quickly. And he isn't able to use the Master's Call when he's Hodge, so he wasn't able to get Joxy out of that Root Solar Beam. And I don't know if Stampeding Roar was available, but if it was, he definitely wanted to get him out of that route. But either way, Joxy going to be going down with no trinket.
My God.
Well, no trinket available.
That's really all it takes against this kind of a team, man. You get caught out without a trinket, and this just insane burst from this Mage Boomkin can literally kill you in just a matter of seconds, like we saw there. 73k Star Surges coming out from Asper that entire game. I mean, you just cannot out-heal that kind of pressure. It'll catch up to you after a while. And that'll do it. So we are going on to game number 2 here. And it looks like we got a map choice. It is Dalaran Soares.
Yeah, the Jungle Cleave wants to bring it to a smaller map, closer pillars. So let's see if they're able to pull it off. And I mean, it's so grim for Jungle Cleave, because if anybody trinkets aggressively, like I believe Taz probably trinketed a Cyclone at some point. And then if the Jungle Cleave isn't all on the same page, you see what happens. Dudu Pharaoh pulled back because he didn't have anything, right? The same thing could have happened to him if he was stuck in the center. So he immediately was like, okay, I need to play defensive. I'm going to come back here. And Taz was like, yeah, you can go. You can go. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm full health. I'm fine. I'm fine. Root beam Hodge. You're not fine.
No, no, no. I just want to make a quick note here. This is actually a fairly good map choice for them. This is actually Asper's second worst map. He has a 58.5% win rate on it officially. So it's a very good map for this I Wish BM Was Viable team. And we'll have to see how they perform. And I actually don't, unfortunately, have statistics for their team, but couldn't really find them. So what can you do?
Yeah.
Either way.
The Dalaran Arena. Think of the add-on. All right, the queue popped, so we're going to be getting into the second game here. And I really think the Jungle Cleave is just on the back foot just from the starting gates. Even Taz is playing Draenei as opposed to Human, so he even has like an extra heal to give out while Joxy's being CC'd. And it's actually something I've seen a lot of hunters actually changing to Draenei to get that. It's for the hunters that play these cleave-based comps that don't have a lot of extra healing when their healers are CC'd. So it's interesting choice by him. But I'd like to see them be a little bit more defensive in the opener because that's when Asper has the most damage he can do in the game is with Celestial Alignment. So just pulling back, even if they are going to go for an all-in, like just drop the Spirit Link. Just give a cooldown, push through the pain, and that's the best way to deal with it or you're going to use too much. But I'm just going to refresh this quickly and then we should be able
to do that too.
We should be able to jump in to this next game.
Never thought I'd see the day where somebody actually wants to go Draenei, but there you go.
Well, it's pretty reasonable too. You have like
it is. I can imagine.
1% or it's 5%. It's no way it's 5%. I think it's 1% agility, so you don't even lose a terrible amount of damage. But they're just going to go for Floria, already opening on with the pounce stun, bringing him down to 50% here. The Black Arrow's up, Murder of Crows comes out, 54%. The explosive shots are firing through, and this Jungle Cleave is on the offensive. Floria's going to use the Avenging Wrath to try and deal with the pressure. Line of sight back here. Joxy's right on top of him, spamming the purges over and over. Floria's kind of getting low here. He does. Jungle Cleave has so much pressure. They've got to be aware of the situation, though. Joxy getting cloned. Taz at 50%, trying to line of sight into the full heart. Big drop. Both just
top decked and wrecked.
Oh my god, it's like a ping pong match. Just going back and forth. He drops down and he drops down. Just a little more aggressive, though. Oh my god. So that'll do it. Repoly, JK200 ping, we'll take it. Down goes Taz. GG. Oh my god.
He trinketed there, but he just didn't get the deter off in time.
I think the official time of that game was 38 seconds. It's insane. I want to do a guys, I think it's time for probably what may well have been one of the fastest games I've ever seen. A giveaway.
Giveaway?
Yeah, I think it's time for a giveaway. What do we got? I think we got CSGO keys. Oh no, Witcher. Yeah, we have Witcher 3 keys to give away. So, if you guys would like to win a Witcher key 3 key, could I get what they need to type in chat real quick, Passon? If you could send that over to me. Passon? Hello, hello.
I don't think she can talk while she's...
Okay, all good. Well, I will call it then. Just type Witcher in chat right now if you guys would like to win a copy of The Witcher 3. And there you go. Great game. So, the first giveaway of many today. And we'd like to give a special thank you to our sponsors, Green Man Gaming, for providing all these fabulous games and codes for us to give out to you guys today. Thank you guys very much. As we move into the next series here, Super T's, what do we have lined up, my friend? Coming in the Group D.
We have Toxic Youth going up against Rip Zonk. And I believe that it's Botar's main team. He's named his team Toxic Youth for years at this point. I would imagine that he's going to be playing Restoration Druid, most likely playing with Swapsy on Warlock. And I'm a little bit unsure who their rogue is going to be if I was going to predict this. We don't have a list of all the players. But that would be my assumptions. And Knees last season was doing pretty successful as RMP, playing with Hynix, and I'm also forgetting the Rogue's name. I have a bad memory for Rogue's names, but it's not listed here. So if they're playing with Hynix and playing their main team RMP, I'm really interested to see how successful they are here in Warlords of Draenor. I saw a lot of them last expansion at the end of the season, so it'd be interesting to see how they play out. It's going to be Roguelock Druid versus Rogue Mage Priest. It's a matchup that you don't even really see that often on the ladder either. And I feel like the Rogue Mage Priest team has a good chance within the first 2 minutes of the game, and then after that point, that's when the Priest kind of runs out of steam. Priest healers are kind of like you open from the gates, you're very strong while you still have your mana at least, and you're able to use Saving Grace a lot and keep your team offensive. And stuck here now, how do I get mana back? How do I get in this game? And getting past that point is really the key. So either you've got to have a really sick setup and be able to end the game in 2 minutes, or you need to have a strategy to recover after you've reached the point where your priest is kind of out of gas.
And of course, this RMP team, this is like El Clasico here, right? I mean, this is one of the oldest comps in the game, bringing it back. So I mean, this is old school. And I'm actually surprised you say that. Now, myself, obviously, I'm more of an RBG player and you're more of the arena guy. But I'm surprised. So there's not really that much RMP on the ladder, right?
There's only like one RMP, I think, that plays, which is Gex, I believe, Deja Vu, and he plays Disc. He's like multiple priests at 2,500. Like, he's pretty successful with RMP. So it's definitely a comp if you're willing to master and play it that can do well. If you're a Disc priest and you're looking for something to play, RMP is definitely reliable. But we're going to be setting up the series as quickly as possible. Roguelock Druid versus Rogue Mage Priest. And are they allowed to multi-comp? I know they're listed as Roguelock Druid, but I know that Botar is capable of playing a lot of different things, and so is Swapsu, and so is probably their third player. So
I'm not sure what the rule on it is, actually. They may or may not be able to. I don't know.
They'll wait and
It looks
see.
like it says that they're
They can
listed as
multi-comp.
both, so
They can
yeah,
can,
I guess
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're listed as RLD, which probably they're going to stick with as their main comp. It's a pretty solid composition. What's interesting about Roguelock Druid is that I've only really seen Nesper's team successful with it consistently. I've seen a couple teams try it out and then not do too well, have some hard matchups, and not know how to deal with it. So there's some credit given to players playing that comp. And Roguelock Druid wasn't very standard for a long time. I know back in Wrath that it was a decent comp that you could play, a half substitute for RLS, but for a long time it wasn't very seen. So it was a new comp in Warlords of Draenor, and we have to wait and see if they do end up playing it. They're not going to be playing it.
Oh, okay. The Death Knight. Okay.
Is that actually Pry? I'm refreshing this first just before we really get going here. I'm not sure if TSX is.
Yeah, they had that listed on their roster there, the DK Rogue comp they could possibly run. So,
but this priest is in trouble.
Yes.
Forward. Nees is in a lot of trouble in this matchup. So it's not going to be Roguelock Druid. It's going to be Smoke Bomb Cleave, and Nees is going to be on his knees, I think.
Did you see that PvP video? I think Halika retweeted the other day, and it was like it showed like I think it was Swayze, and he was like playing a keyboard. And it was like having like 50 different abilities flashing.
Yeah,
in front of him.
that's probably that's what this game is going to be.
So the rogue like presses 3 buttons and he wins.
We'll have to see if Ripzonk can pull it off here. Both teams are going to be in stealth from the get-go with the Shroud of Concealment. Botar's team crossing the map, Death and Decay not pulling anyone out of stealth. The Ripzonka being very patient, but they're going to cross pass here shortly. Pride turning around right away. They're not going to be able to see each other, and this means that Botar is going to come out of stealth first here, and TSX already loading out some damage here. Spirit Shells actually casted onto Knees. He got a full stack of Spirit Shells. That's a huge absorb on himself. They can't even cut through it on this kidney shot. The AMS having to use by DJ Fearedmaster here as Botar's going through a long CC chain, strangulate onto Knees, but the Death Knight's in trouble, down to 30%. Botar pops the Avenging Wrath. He's going to get Frost Child, but he did top him off prior to it. In the meantime, Pry using his Cloak of Shadows offensively, evasion as well to avoid some damage, but Knees dealing with this early pressure fairly well. As I say that, though, the Breath of Cindergosa coming out. DJ Fearedmaster is going to get trinketed out of that kidney shot to try and get the pressure rolling onto Knees here. Cheap shots coming out from Soz onto Pry. He's going to reconnect, however, taking him down to 50%. 30% here. Another AMS forced out from GJ Feared. The killing spree coming out into Knees. The pain suppression, it might not be enough. Down to 20%.
Oh, boy.
That's done 13% into the Garrote silence. He has to He's desperately trying to keep himself alive with the saving grace here. The kidney shot onto the Death Knight, dipping down to 60%. Knees has survived this.
I don't know how he did, man. I mean, that was Kidney and Smoke Bomb on top of that. Knees, he's still down to 75% here, but they're reversing on to DJ Fredmaster. He's down to 110%. He's got to force pop the AMS there. They're swapping back on to Knees here. He's at 48%. DJ Fred is also at 40%. The Strangulate does go out. They're trying to counter kill here. Knees is dropping down to 20%. The Strangulate may well be enough. The silence does go out on to Botar, and it looks like Knees is still just barely hanging on with 30% health left. DJ Fredmaster also down to 30%, both taking an incredible amount of damage right now. I don't know how they're still living through this, man.
I don't think they're going to be living for very much longer. Botar caught into a full polymorph, down to 19%. AMS is fading. So's trying to finish the job with this offensive Cloak of Shadows. The full fear going to be landed onto Botar, but it was stolen and thrown back on the knees. The kidney shot comes out. He's going to end up going down. And Rip Zonka have just ripped Toxic Youth apart, surviving through that opening burst and taking them out there, finally getting through all of Botar's cooldowns. And they're actually able to take down DJ Ferdmaster pretty convincingly.
That'll do it. It was pretty close for a moment there, I gotta tell you. Knees was down to, I believe it was like 14% was the number health. But I mean, they just managed to counter kill the Death Knight before it was too late. Just so much pressure from both the teams at the same time. It was really, really a great match.
And it's got to make you think that they did they go for that Rogue DK strat in an attempt to counter comp and then end up losing in their counter comp option. It'd be interesting to see if they do decide to change their comp back or not.
Yeah.
Being unsuccessful with the smoke bomb cleave, Knees is able to hold on by the seat of his pants. Is that how you say it? The edge of his seat? The seat of his pants. I'm just saying that over in my head.
The skin of his chinny chin.
Skin of his teeth, I know. I didn't want to say that because he's going to say it a lot, so I tried to make up one.
I say the skin of his chinny chin chin.
The seat of his pants.
Oh my god! I think Giga, you and me were casting an RBG event once, and I think I think it's at the tip of his tippy tip.
Yeah, I've heard some great things come out of your mouth, AJ. That's for sure.
Oh my god! It's when you're in the moment, man. You can't think of the word, and you just like throw out whatever's like closest to it. You know? Oh,
yeah,
boy.
for sure. I was really impressed with Knees healing that last game. Not only that he stayed alive, but that he actually kept up his team as well. Like,
yeah,
it was impressive, man. Really good play.
Yeah, and the fact that he even MD'd the bubble. Botar bubbled the full poly, got MD'd instantly, and the mage was already casting a poly and landed it right when his bubble got removed. So
Yeah.
that CC chain never got interrupted, even under that much pressure. Just getting on it, just snap on it, and then even at the end of the game, landing the fear. Like he's still getting pressured really hard. Was there to nail the fear, nail the game in the coffin, and really win it for his team. So good job by Knees to deal with this pressure. We're gonna have to see if Toxic Youth can deal with it. I mean, Knees, it is a couple close calls that game, obviously dipping down to like 18%, and we're going to be really looking for, I would like to see Toxic Youth being more offensive, just connect as three. Paladins with Avenging Wrath up can participate almost as a third DPS, and I think that's their best shot of winning. I mean, they have a lot of immunity cooldowns with AMS, Bubble, Bop, and they can remove all of the stuns from So's on Rip Zonk's side. So I think that Toxic Youth just need to be playing more as a unit and go for the all-in, because that's what their comp is based around.
Yeah, it worked pretty well for them last time. They were able to drop Knees down fairly low, 14%, as I was saying earlier. So maybe I mean, I see DJ Ferdmaster, he's sitting in Unholy Presence right now, so he's ready to go right in there and pump as much damage as he can.
Quick refresh.
Oh, let me do that real quick.
We're all good to go, but second map is starting here. Dalaran Arena again. All teams are in stealth from the Shroud of Concealment. DJ Ferdmaster trying to find them, not going to be able to with that Death and Decay. Rip Zonk all going to be remaining in stealth much longer. Botar running on top of him. Sap onto DJ Ferd. He's actually going to Desecrated Ground out of the Sap to go offensive, but Knees once again loaded up all those Spirit Shells preemptively onto himself. He's sitting through all of this opening damage as a result. Well played by him to get it set up like this. Now trying to go for a Fear here. I'm not sure where it ended up landing. He's into the Strangulate. He's going to Stone Form the Strangulate, drop the barrier down to reduce the damage coming in here. Pressure on the DJ Ferdmaster is going to be answered by Botar's Avenging Wrath, topping him off now. Knees down on the back foot at 50%. The denounces are coming in from Botar as the triple DPS element is what they're trying to take them down with. The pain suppression has to be used. DJ Ferdmaster is going to trinket out of that kidney shot, so is caught into a Hodge. He wasn't able to get him out. Knees is still in trouble here at 50%.
Yeah, DJ Ferdmaster was forced to swap back to Blood Presence there as they began to pump massive damage on him. But speaking of massive damage, Knees is taking it right now as he begins to drop to 50% here. 45, calling out Fokidney into a bomb. He is dropping very low here. Souls, he's in it with him, and he's going to try and peel him off. He's down to 20%, 8%, 6%. Oh, he pops himself up. But will it be enough? They're pumping big damage into him. He's down to 12. Souls also dropping very low, just barely able to keep himself up. DJ Ferdmaster now feeling the pressure as well. He's dropping to 30% here. Prey also trying to peel as well for his team, trying to get these guys off him. His hands have got to be shaking at this point. A kill is about to happen. Who is it going to be? DJ Ferdmaster will be the first one to drop there, and Rip Zankt have taken the series over Toxic Youth.
He did it.
The RMP dream is real, boys.
It is alive and well, my friends. Oh my god. That's insane.
All right, so moving alphabetically, the next series we should be seeing will be We Will Win Baba going up against Rocket Gaming.
Actually, hold on. Are we going on? Yeah, it is losers bracket last, so you're right about that. Yep.
So it's going to be We Will Win Baba, the LSD of Walrus, going up against Rocket Gaming, Baba the Mage. And actually, I think Rocket Gaming has beaten Walrus before. I believe in one tournament, Walrus had to fight Zuniaki's God Comp, lost to them, and then had to fight Baba the Mage's God Comp and lost to them. So I think that, as statistically speaking, Rocket Gaming is ahead against We Will Win Baba. So we're going to have to see if they're having a good day or a bad day, as they're going to be facing that composition again here in round 2. God Comp versus LSD. It's a pretty standard matchup, I think, as far as tournaments go. It's something that you see a lot, especially later in the stages at BlizzCon, later in the stages in the expansions. And I'm actually interested to see if LSD is going to go back to the Affliction spec next patch.
What? I'm sorry. Which series are we going to?
Going to go, We Will Win Baba, going up against Rocket Gaming. So Baba the Mage's team, Walrix's team.
Got it.
You got it, love.
Probably shouldn't use European accents on an EU tournament. People will just hate us.
You know what? I'm Canadian, and there's like some element of European inside of me because that's where Canadians came from. So I probably have something. I'm allowed to do that. Okay? All right.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good to me. Everyone loves Canadians. They're the best.
Hey, you want to go get some milk, eh?
Agridarena, correct?
There's a moose in my yard.
Moose.
All right, but we should be able to get the next series here started shortly. Walrus's team already taking down Jim pretty convincingly in their first matchup. Now facing Rocket Gaming, the God Comp that did get a free win against Blizzo's team. So they haven't had any time really to warm up as opposed to Walrus's team. So we're going to see if maybe having cold feet might end up being a deciding factor here. I'd imagine they're maybe practicing on the ladder. And they have been playing as a team for quite a long time, so they're probably already, they don't need to like warm up that much.
Yeah, those last second tournament games, you know, a little bit of warm up. I've seen a few teams do it before.
One of our competitors is just doing an IRL bio break, so that's all we're waiting on.
Oh, Gucci.
What happens like at BlizzCon? Are they allowed to like go take bathroom breaks?
I don't
you
think
just hold
so.
it for like 8 hours?
No,
Nah, you can't.
You don't play for the whole 8 hours.
Well, I mean, duh, obviously.
You don't. But winners do.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
It's a skill of BlizzCon players. They hone it over the years.
You have to be able to
Ladder
hold your.
control.
Oh my god.
But let's see when these teams are ready. One of the teams is not completely ready. Let's see if they're able to pull it off here. Walrus' team lost to this team in a past tournament, and they seem to be having troubles with this composition specifically.
Oh, hold on. Super.
Has passed
I think
them.
we have a giveaway to do real quick.
We need another one?
Ooh, a giveaway?
Yeah, a giveaway. This one is for CS:GO, and this is a really good game. I want this game, but I can't. I'm not eligible for it, unfortunately. But we like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Green Man Gaming, for providing this awesome game key to give away for you guys. So go check them out. Show them some love, guys. They are awesome. But if you guys want to win CS:GO, type in CS:GO in the chat right now, and you guys can win this giveaway for a pretty good game. I'm not gonna lie. So we are about to get queued up here, and I think that we are in game right now for Nagrand Arena of the first of a best of 3 series between Woo and Baba and Rocket Gaming.
Yeah, I'm just doing a refresh.
Just did it,
We're
my
all
friend.
on the same page, and they do have Talby, second place BlizzCon competitor last year. And he's
Oh,
gonna be
Talby's
paired
in
up.
there? Oh, wait.
I'm assuming that's Talby. His name is Talby,
Mm-hmm.
unless Miley is just a fanboy and took his name. But I'm assuming that would be Talby, and he's playing with Baba the Mage. And 6 months. Okay, anybody that names their character 6 months automatically tells me that they got banned for botting. I'm pretty sure that's what Zarya named his mage was 6 months, and now this Shadow Priest, which I'm assuming is Frosty, is he named himself 6 months because he got banned. So lesson
Oh
of the
my
day:
God,
don't
rip.
bot, kids.
Mm-mm. We had that whole discussion on it in Synapse, the stream a little while back. That was a lot of fun. But ladies and gentlemen, the gates are open. Here we go.
Yeah, both Wizard teams going to be pairing off against each other in the center, trading bolt for bolt. Chain Lightning's coming out as well. Earthquake thrown out to the center to try and mitigate some damage rolling through. Walrus building up his Fury, dotting up the team. Talby, too, actually in the center of the map, looking for some Cyclones here early on. Zipai grounding the first one, going for another Cyclone here. Not able to get it. He line of sights. Baba blinks in, looking like he wants to get some crowd control. The Iron Bark came out preemptively here. Now the Dark Soul being popped by Walrus. He's going to get horrified on it. The Axe Toss is still up on a 6 months. He's taking a bunch of damage out from Zipai here. The Lava Burst flying through and connecting down to 50%. The Cyclone onto Zipai, though, with the silence onto Looney. Should be able to mitigate enough incoming CC and damage to top off Frostby here, who's looking to push in and maybe get a fear onto Looney. He's just not able to connect. The feathers don't seem like enough. He does get Thunderstorm back. Finally pushing in here. Lands a fear. Tremor'd immediately by Zipai. Walrus down to 70%. Trying to build some fury for this next Dark Soul.
Yeah, Baba Mage dropping down there as well to 70% here. At 6 months, gets caught into a fear, into a Cyclone Chain as well. Raw Creek still holding on to that Dark Soul, but they are waiting on the Elemental Mastery from Lockerbie to be up before they burst again, but he may well pop it anyways. Killbait, of course, just line of sighting right now, trying to prevent any kind of CC that would come out from this God comp. Of course, it is one of the most CC-intensive comps in the game. Baba Mage and 6 months going to be caught in a full Lock Fear there, the AoE Fear, and Lockerbie, of course, going to be caught into a Cyclone as they kind of trade CC here, just trying to keep these teams offensive for the time being.
Yep, double fear landed here. Looney's going to be able to get the Tremor off. It broke to the damage. Trying to put some pressure on the Babo. They're actually dotting the entire team, which makes me think they're going to go for a mana game. But at this point, Looney's actually behind on mana at 68%. Talby 2 is going to get feared up. Maybe they're going to look for a swap to him. The Demon Bolt is getting channeled onto Talby. He gets life gripped, barely out of line of sight. Walrus is going to reconnect here. The Chaos Waves are coming in. Looney even going in cat form there for a few globals. Now he's going to get caught into a deep freeze, looking to land the Ring of Frost. They're going to land the Cyclone instead. Babo got locked out on that. Going to poly Zipai. Walrus in a 3v1 situation. He's horrified with no pet, and he has no Soul Link to reduce the incoming damage. Zipai's throwing out some off heals to try and bide the time. He's going to banish the Shadow Fiend. Well played by Walrus and Zipai to stay alive while Looney went through that CC.
Yeah, Warwick's just popping those big Dark Souls, are able to line up that pressure. And it looks like he has another one coming up here in just a moment. It's going to be up there with Lockerbie's Elemental Mastery, but he may not have time to pop it. He does drop down there to 33% as the Iron Bark does come out of Looney. And of course, the Elemental Mastery is popped by Lockerbie as they begin to try and reverse some kind of pressure over onto the Priest 6 months from Rocket Gaming. Walcrick's popping his Dark Soul in line with that. And Babo Mage, of course, trying to spam the poly to peel these guys off best that they can. And he's going to start it out on Lockerbie. Walcrick Walkrix, the Dark Soul is going to drop down, and 6 months is going to be safe for the time being with an Iron Bark that does come out from Talby.
Yeah, he was able to line of sight throughout that damage, and now with no Dark Soul available, the pressure is going to subside for this team of We Will Win Baba. 6 months realizes that. He's pushing in with the Feather, looking to try and land a Fear here. Looney trying to avoid it with that Travel Form, trying to outspeed him a little bit. Polymorphs being spammed, Looney trying to dispel those as quickly as possible. Now he's gone to a Deep Freeze, Horrify onto Z-Pi. They're looking for the setup onto him. Talby not in a position here to bash him, unfortunately. They're going to land the double Fear while we're spamming these defensive Fears over and over and over. He is eventually going to get counterspelled. The full Poly landed onto Looney out of that Fear. Z-Pi immediately pops the Spirit Walker's Grace to get some off heals rolling. He knows that he needs to keep his team alive while Looney is CC'd. There's no more Polymorphs to follow up onto Looney here. He's going to be able to get out of line of sight. Should be able to keep his team topped here. But the one thing that Rocket Gaming is doing great right now is that they've just been killing Walrix Pet over and over. At the moment, he does have the Wrath Guard out. He's looking to get offensive as he does have it up. Silence onto Looney. Walrix gets the Devouring Plague up onto him. Z-Pi going for a Hex here. He's not able to get it. Iron Bark has to be used on the Horrify. Walrix down to 29%. Talby in the meantime getting swapped to in that Axe Toss, but Walrix is going to get cloned. Z-Pi is going to get polyed. Talby pushes in, goes for the bash on Looney, looking to get that Cyclone out as well. Walrix popping the Dark Soul to try and counter pressure here. He wasn't able to land the Cyclone. He got interrupted on it. Walrix popping the Dark Soul into Talby, taking him down to 50%, but he's down to 50% himself. Throws at the defensive Howl of Terror. Talby going for clone after clone. Walrix's pet died in the meantime, and every time his pet dies, he's forced on the defense, and he can't finish the job.
This LSD really wants to take it in the late game here, but they are just being CC'd consistently by this Rocket Gaming. They continue to kill the pet, they continue to put out the pressure, and they continue to just do what God Comp does. 6 months down to 70% along with Babo Mage and Talby too. He's spamming the rejuves off, trying to keep his team up. Kilbay, of course, going to be put into a full silence here. 6 months, and Babo Mage may look to try and put some type of pressure on the possibly Walrix here, which has been a target of choice for most of the game. Kilbay and Lockerbie just putting a clone and a Deep Freeze for the time being, and of course 6 months is still holding on to that Disperse. Well, Walkrix has the Dark Souls up, and he's probably going to be ready to go very soon here, as Lockerbie's Elemental Mastery does come up as well.
Yeah, Z-Pi looking for a Hex here on a Babo. It does get dispelled by Talby here. They're looking to set up a lot of damage on a Z-Pi. He gets locked out on that Healing Surge. Walrix in the meantime trying to counter pressure with this Dark Soul Demon Bolt onto 6 months. He's going to be able to line of sight the Axe Toss, but Z-Pi reconnects. The Fulmination comes through. Talby desperately spamming out the heals here, trying to get his Hots reloaded, and he should be able to line of sight, but now we're kicking into Dampening, and this is the game that the LSD wants to be playing here. Every time they push in, Walrix or Z-Pi trying to counter pressure them out, force Talby to use a lot of mana, going for the Tranquility right now, even trying to look for a drink, I think, and he's in stealth, sitting down for a big drink right now. The dot is eventually going to pull him out. It doesn't seem like Walrix or Z-Pi even care that he's getting that drink. No. He did manage to get full mana, and now Looney is the one on the back foot. He's trying to sit down for a drink, but it might be too late. He is sitting down for quite some time, got back to 70%, but Talby's going to take the mana lead with that. They're going to swap over to him. He's down to 60%. Z-Pi gets Rung of Frost. Walrix building up the Demonic Fury. A preemptive Iron Bark here before the Dark Soul was used. Walrix going to Demon Leap in, land the Howl of Terror. Looney getting swapped to actually from the side of Rocket Gaming, taking him down very quickly through the Barkskin.
Oh.
Hellstone might not be enough. Down to 10%, 2%, and Looney is going to fall to the God Comp pressure. Rocket Gaming taking this in the first round.
That'll do it. 8% dampening is all that this Rocket Gaming needed to take out that Druid. Absolutely insane, and they were just able to drop him so quickly. Very well done from this Rocket Gaming team. It's the damage, man. Just wasn't there for Walkrix today. Maybe this next series he'll have that big damage he's able to put out. But it was pretty impressive. He was able to hold on to his the priest there at 6 months. He was able to hold on to his Disperse for the entire game there, so that was fairly impressive.
Yeah, Talby was constantly like preemptively Iron Barking him, and there it kind of bit him in the butt. He preemptively Iron Barked 6 months. He stayed at full HP, and they swapped to him. Barkskin wasn't enough, and the CC chain that God Comp has to kill a Resto Druid is long enough that you can kill them through Barkskin. It's not enough, and they did a good job CCing Z-Pi while they were doing it. For him to be able to survive that, he either needs Fears out from Walrix, or he needs heals out from Z-Pi. He needs something to help him because Barkskin isn't going to be enough to survive Horrify into Bash into Silence. So they really set that up very well. It's much harder to do with the Resto Druid variant. The Bash requires melee range and it's a longer cooldown, so it was well timed by the God Comp to get that through, and it's going to really be up to Rocket Gaming to be on their toes the entire time. They have to be ready for that kind of damage that Rocket Gaming is able to output, and if they're not ready for it completely, you can see how quickly he's going to go down.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Okay. Next game coming up here will be on Dalaran Soares. And we are getting that queued up for you guys right now. And we should have a queue pop fairly momentarily here. So we get right into it. I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Yep, Rocket Gaming taking a 1-0 lead here in this best of 3. Let's see if we will win. Baba can win it for Baba, as that is their team name. I don't know who Baba is. Maybe somebody can let us know in chat.
I'm not sure.
But Dalaran Sewers is the map choice from Walrus's team. They want to bring it to a smaller map, and it's going to pay a favor to them with being able to land triple Hive Terrors. Earthquake is very valuable on this map as well. When everybody stacks up, it can be very disruptive. And I actually think Earthquake is pretty undervalued. Most of the time, like if you get a lucky string of if you get a lucky string of Earthquake proc stuns in a row on somebody, you can really mess them up. So this map's going to allow ZPie to take advantage of that a lot more than the grand map. But I'm just going to do a quick refresh so that we're all in syncy.
My friend. In syncy.
But
so fun fact here, Walrix has actually played, get this, 13,723 arenas lifetime. How about that?
It's actually not that much.
Really? It sounds like a lot.
I know it does, but I think there's some people that have like 30,000.
Are you
Maybe
kidding?
that's not his main warlock. It might not be his main warlock.
Maybe.
Wait, isn't that account? I think it's account bound. No, maybe it's not. I'm not sure.
I'm not entirely sure on that. No, I don't think it is. Not in the statistics, at least. So if he does have another warlock, then I could only imagine how much big damage has been done throughout his lifetime. I want to look at that total big damage. Okay, anyway.
Babo actually blinking in and stopping the gateway with an early counterspell, trying to shut down Walrus. He's going for another gateway here. He's going to be able to secure that. So the counterspell is going to be down here for ZPie and Walrus to start setting up. Looney already taking to the pillar, pre-hotting his team, getting ready for the assault here. Baba the Mage is going to have full icicle. 6 months, looks like he wants to go in for the kill. He feathers in, trying to look for maybe a double fear here. Baba has the deep freeze available as well. The double fear going to land with a deep freeze for Looney. They're going to go for the Ring of Frost. He does get wind sheared on it. Luckily, Looney did pre-bear farm it, so he's not going to be able to get CC'd by Babo. He's going to get cloned instead by Talby. Good awareness to keep that CC rolling, but they've got to chain it together here. Babo looking for a polymorph. They're actually swapping over to Talby here. He's into the axe toss. He's going to bark skin that. He's dipping down to 75% here. He should be all right. 6 months throwing out some off heals. He actually got wind sheared, I believe, on that off heal. Babo getting swapped to, taken down to 40% here. The LSD pressure is looking immense. Walrus getting cloned, however, to shut it down. Rocket Gaming should be able to recover unless Walrus pops another Dark Soul here, which I wouldn't expect. Babo blinks in, goes for the Ring of Frost. He does get interrupted on it. They're going to use the fear instead. Silence ZPie. He's actually, I believe, going to trigger that silence, get the tremor for his team, bash up 6 months. Babo down to 70%. Talby not crowd controlled though. Should be able to heal him. Well-timed Amplify Magic there, but a well-timed clone from Looney to deny that extra healing.
Yeah, Babo Mage, of course, did drop down there fairly low. But Talby, I mean, he's going to be able to pick his team up here and fairly recover for the time being. Well, nobody really feeling too much pressure yet. I mean, they're peeling back. They're trying to play the pillar game right now and just trying to avoid a lot of the CC that this God Cop is going to put out on them. Wallcreek's going to be the target of choice here. He's facing a little bit of pressure here out from this Babo Mage in 6 months. But, however, he should probably be able to recover for the time being. No big cooldowns forced yet from either of these teams. So it's just really kind of like a pillar war at this point in the game.
Yeah, it really is, and both teams want to be waiting for dampening. There's just so much healing and CC available on each side that it's hard to push through without dampening, and Looney avoiding another deep freeze CC chain there, and I believe that's like 4 in a row that they've been able to shut down, so Walrus is going out of the offense here with his Dark Soul, but ZPie pops his Ascendance as well, and ZPie actually is playing Enhancement. I don't think that's something that we noticed right away here, but he is playing Enhancement. He's putting out quite a bit of pressure, taking 6 months down to 40% here. The Tranquility out from Talby to answer most of this rot pressure, but Talby's mana is getting taxed. ZPie is going to be able to purge a lot more as Enhancement as opposed to Elemental, and it's really paying it forward. He chose to Shamanistic Rage there a little bit preemptively. 6 months trying to push in here onto Looney, but he's going to get cloned by Talby. Talby getting swapped to. He's going to Barskin immediately. Isn't going to be enough, though. Walrus's Dark Soul doing an immense amount of damage, down to 30%. He does get to the pillar here with that Displacer Beast, trying to roll the hots on his team, but his mana is not looking as good as it did last time around.
No, it absolutely is not. Taxed to 52% mana right now. He did get that big drink off last game and was able to save his team against the dampening pressure that this LSD is able to put out. And we're going to be going in dampening pretty soon, folks, if this keeps up. Babo Mage, of course, down to was down about 20% of his health, but Talby right now going to be popping a rejuice, and he's probably going to be able to keep his team up for the time being. And once again, we wait on the cooldowns and we bring it back to the pillar game. Walkrix is, of course, going to be put in the full clone here as Lockerbeat gets put into a poly. And this Godcop, they're really just trying to look to control this team as much as they can right now, put KOB into fear, and possibly pressure Walkrix a little bit at the time. The Bash does come out, and it is full on the Walkrix as he drops down to 50% here. He's taking a lot of damage. He drops down to 52% now. Icicles are popped by Babel Mage as he is forced to Ice Block there for the time being to get out of that CC. Walkrix is going to be forced to pop that Dark Soul as well as the Iron Bark that does come out from Looney here, and he will probably be able to recover from the time being as the pressure swaps on to Rocket Gaming as he drops down to 20%. Oh my god.
He was on hypo there. He would have gone down if that big NS didn't come through for Talby. Talby down to 47%. Probably going to be looking for a drink here shortly. He does get locked out on that Cyclone onto Z-Pi. Walrus desperately trying to get his pet resummoned, and it seems to be a problem for him to have his pet out. They're just constantly killing it here. Not really sure what exactly he could do to prevent it. And he still doesn't have a pet out right now. He's trying to get it out. Halterra onto Babo. He's rolling his dots out for the time being. He did manage to get his pet out. He's going to park it behind the box here to try and keep it alive as long as possible. Double Fear landed out. It does get tremoured by Z-Pi. He wasn't CC'd to cover it. 6 months is just going to pull out. Their CC chain has gotten broken up. There's no reason to stay. Talby 6 months and Babo just crossing the map back defensively. And Z-Pi as an enhancement's not going to be able to do too much from range. He's just constantly spamming the purges. Talby going for a drink though. He's in stealth. He's dotted up. I believe they're able to stop the drink. They badge Z-Pi in the back line. They're trying to take him down rapidly here. The Shamanistic Rage and Iron Bark going to be used at the same time in succession, which means that Iron Bark's not available for Walrix as they swap it over to him with the Horrify. Deep Freeze, Ring of Frost going to land on a Looney here. He trinkets that immediately. Swiftman comes out, gets a juicy NS onto Walrix prior to that Fear landing. Now he's going to get polyed half, but after topping him off, he should be all right. Now a Rocket Gaming on the back foot. Iron Bark having to be used on Babo here. Walrix going for the Dark Soul. Demon Bolt onto Talby. That's going to land, bring him down to 50%. Ascendance gets fought by Z-Pi, trying to take Talby out right here and now. He had to trinket that stun, still down to 70 or 17%. He did get that NS off, however, wasn't able to purge it off in time. He's going to survive as a result. They're just going to swap the damage over to 6 months here. In the meantime, Looney positioned very far back. He doesn't want to get swapped to or feared here. 6 months looks like he's trying to push in to get something. Babo's actually going to Blazing Speed, blink across the map, land the full deep poly, trying to get some pressure rolling onto Z-Pi. He doesn't have Shamanistic Rage available for 5 more seconds, but it doesn't seem like they have the damage. The Double Fear going to land. Looney gets cloned again, but he is on CC DR. He should be able to keep his team topped. The Bash comes through here. Divine Plague onto him. He Shamanistic Rages. It might be a little bit too late. Down to 30% here. The Iron Bark used as well. That's going to be able to tide his HP over here as he spams the Healing Surges, bringing himself back to 50%. But we are in dampening, and we know what happens when that starts to stack.
Yes, we do, my friend. It is a very dangerous game that Rocket Gaming plays against this LSD as we move into their part of the game. Talby, he's going to begin to get taxed on his mana here, already down to 47% here, and he may well look to get a drink very soon. He wasn't able to get off before it was interrupted. Babo Mage, of course, feeling a slight bit of pressure here, but really not too much. Both of these teams just trying to land some control and trying to keep healed up. It looks like the Icicles are going to be popped by Babo Mage. He's putting a lot of pressure out, and he's going to start it possibly onto Lockerbeat. It looks like the Shaman, who did run out of a lot of cooldowns earlier. Kilbay, he's going to be put into a full polymorph there as Lockerbeat begins to feel a little bit of pressure from this God Cop. Babo Mage put in a full fear along with 6 months. They're trying to peel them the best they can and stop any kind of damage that they may well have for the time being. Talby keeping fairly decent up on mana here as he looks as Looney tries to line all this damage coming out onto his team. 13% dampening, and the LSD continues to pressure this Rocket Gaming.
Yeah, Walrix getting taken down to 50%. He's got to be careful. The Frozen Orb coming out from Babo. He does portal away to Looney's aid, but Looney gets locked out. Now into the Deep Freeze. Fear's being spammed out. Walrix has to deny this CC. The Tremor Totem comes through from Z-Pi. Looney should be able to heal him up here. Another Devouring Play coming out. Dark Soul Demon Bolt out from Walrix. Huge damage on the Talby here. Chaos Waves connect into the Barskin. It might not be enough. Down to 40%. 6 months off healing him. Throwing him a Power Word Shield. Polymorphs out onto Z-Pi. Keeping Talby alive for that swap. Walrix's Dark Soul not getting too much done here. Trying to switch some pressure over to 6 months now, down to 60%. Dampening at 17%. Deep Freeze onto Looney, looking for a Ring of Frost here. He does get Howl of Terror on it. Not going to be able to land another Deep Freeze CC chain here. Looney leaves it. Talby going for a drink though. Walrix Demon leaps across to stop that drink. Well played, being aware of that. They need to play the mana game. Z-Pi in the meantime on the back foot has to get Iron Barked with the Shamanistic Rage. Looney gets cloned. That damage reduction should be able to keep him alive here. He's trying to get back to the pillar. The LSD on the defense. Talby going for some clones here. He does clone up Zeepai at not too low of an HP here, but the Shamanistic Rage is going to be fading, and Talby's mana is starting to actually tie up with Looney's here, and Talby constantly looking for those drinks is dragging the LSD out. They can't afford to just let him drink for free. Walrus taking some damage as he crosses the map here. Deep freeze on a Looney, looking for a polymorph. He does get Axe Toss stunned on the polymorph into a fear. Walrus shutting down another deep freeze CC chain. Looney leaves it, and he's going to be able to top him off here. Talby's mana down to 40%. Amplify magic used by Babo to try and buy his team a little bit more time here. Double fear onto the DPS out from 6 months. Looney actually going for a drink. Let's see if Babo or 6 months are intrigued to stop it. Does seem like they're going to be able to. Silence comes out. Zeepai's in trouble. No shot rate. Down to 4%. The Hellstone comes out. Grounding Totem. Desperation time. He's trying to make a turnaround onto Babo. Forces him into the ice block. Dark Soul popped by Walrix. And both players getting pressured so hard here. Dampening at 25%.
What a great Hellstone that he was able to pop right there. And it was topped off by the Ironbark that came out by Looney. And it was just able to save his life barely. 26% in the dampening. These healers are not going to be able to keep up as we continue to go on. Talby, too, you can see he's already being taxed on his mana. Down to 28% at one point. And now he's just trying to get away from this LSD the best he can and get a drink before it's all too late. Babo Mage trying to force a little bit of pressure on the Lockerbie. Now that they forced a big amount of cooldowns on him, he's still holding on to that wall, though, and maybe forced to pop it very soon. 30% dampening so far into this game as Rocket Gaming begins to slowly put out some pressure onto We Will Win Baba, but so far a fairly even matchup in the dampening. With Talby too, he lands a big drink there and does get up to 90% mana. No Tranquility for the time being, as we saw was popped earlier in the match. Wallcrix popping the Dark Souls there. Lockerbie going to get polyed immediately. They're preemptively trying to stop any kind of burst that they're going to pop out, and Wallcrix, his Dark Souls will go down, and that'll be it.
Looney's in trouble, though. He's going through that long CC chain. Has the Barkskin, uses the Hellstone, trying to cut away here. If he survives this, though, his team's looking like in a pretty decent position. Rocket Gaming rotting down hard here, dampening at 34%. Talby taking a huge lead from that drink, though, on mana from Looney. Walrus has to pull back. Not going to be able to get anything done for 20 seconds, waiting for his Dark Soul to come up. Just trying to rot down the team, build up his Fury. Zeepai having to evacuate as well here, spamming the Purges out. I'm a little bit unsure as to why he has NS up right now. They should be able to purge that off here if they're looking for it. Ironbark used preemptively. The double fear going to land. Walrus is alone, but that Ironbark should be able to keep him pretty healthy. Hex coming out. They're actually going to swap over to Looney again, and he doesn't have Barskin for this swap. There's no damage follow-up, though. He's going to be able to get out of line of sight, and that swap got botched a bit. Walrus is able to shut it down with a stun onto 6 months. Zeepai going down to 70%, but he has that Shamanistic Rage available. He might want to press it. He goes into the Silence. He's going to Stone Form out of the Silence, go for some off-healing here, but with dampening so high, his healing's not going to be that effective. Looking for the CC onto Looney. They're not able to land the ring. They land the clone instead. Zeepai down to 50%. It's going to Shamanistic Rage to answer this incoming damage. Is it going to be enough, though? His final stand here. Looney getting cloned again, down to 40%, 38%, trying to heal himself back up. Another third DR clone. Baba getting Axe tossed. Dark Souls available. Demon Bolt getting casted here. Chaos Waves used instead, trying to force this God Comp away from Zeepai as he's very vulnerable right now. Counter pressure them. Going for a Demon Bolt here, trying to fake cast the counterspell. He fake casts the counterspell. Goes for the Demon Bolt. Connects onto Babo. Takes him down to 30%. He's going to Ironbark him immediately and start spamming these heals with Nature's Vigil. Now Babo deep freezes Looney. Not looking for any CC just yet. Does land the Fear, but it broke on his Zeepai. He's going to get the Tremor. Looney silence now instead. Ironbark preemptively, however, onto Zeepai at 50%. He's able to sustain himself for now. Devouring Plague goes up onto him, however, and dampening just keeps getting higher and higher. The Frost Orb comes out. How much longer can he stay alive? Looney gets locked out, down to 39%. Defensive Hex onto Babo. Talby's not able to get it into the 1 second Fear DR. Axe toss defensively, and it's the LSD that's being rotted down.
Yes, it absolutely is. Lockerbie completely out of mana at this point. He's not going to really be able to off-heal himself coming forward into this, as Looney as well is at 33% mana. Wallcrix is feeling the pressure, but 6 months is going to be forced to disperse here, and Babo Mage is also feeling the pressure. They reverse it over onto him. He's spamming the rejuves off. Talby trying to do what he can, but they just have no pressure. Babo, he's trying to pick himself up here. He's at 50%. Lockerbie, I spoke too soon. Calling to a full deep, down to 10%, down to 5%. He will drop down, and Rocket Gaming will take the series against We Will Win Baba. 48% dampening, man.
It's pretty
they
big
beat an
dampening,
LSD.
man.
That's insane. And I think they beat an LSD. 49% dampening. That's impressive.
Might be time for We Will Win to change their name.
Possibly so.
But either way, Rocket Gaming taking a convincing series. They secure themselves a spot in the semifinals. Pretty comfy place to be. The next series we're going to be seeing will decide their opponents for tomorrow. And it's going to be Rip Zonk playing their RMP. We're pretty successful against Botar's Smoke Bomb Cleave, pushing it through their all-in and surviving. And they should be going up against Asber's team, the Mage Boomkin Paladin. And Nees is running Dwarf. He's not running Gnome. And it's going to be rough to deal with him, or it's going to be rough for him to deal with the solar beams that are going to be coming out from Asbury. He's just going to have to sit through them. So we saw, I believe it was Naj's RMP go up against Asbury's team, and they got just decimated. There was too much crowd control. They weren't able to push through, and they were just too vulnerable. So we're going to have to see if this EU team has a different strategy, a different way to deal with it. And they also have the latency advantage. Asver's team playing from North America are going to be playing with higher ping. It's of their own choosing, and there's nothing we can really do about it, but there is that advantage to Rip Zonk's team, and it seems pretty solid in the quick games, but against a Mage Boomkin Paladin that can drag a game out, how long can the Priest stay in it is the question. How long can Nees keep his team alive and out of crowd control to get pressure rolling? But let's see if he can do it. I know in the last series he was able to get Mass Dispels off consistently on bubbles while his team was at like 10% health, still getting that Mass Dispel off, realizing that he needs to get it off, needs the CC chain. So if he's able to do that against this Mage Boomkin Paladin, maybe they can do it. They have enough CC, a different strategy. We're going to have to find out here. They seemed very solid in the last series, so I'm excited to see this. Or will Asber's North American team just walk over the EU?
They look pretty strong, man. I'm excited for this matchup. This is going to be really good. But before we get into it, I think it's time for a giveaway, my friends. We are going to be giving away a little bit of Green Man Gaming, my friends. You know it. The brothers, the friends, they are the legends. Give them a shout out. We are doing CSGO this time around. Excuse me. No. I'm wrong. Witcher 3 was the chat, so I got that wrong. But either way, Witcher 3 is still a pretty good game. We have other CSGO keys to give away, so we'll do that a little later in the show. But if you guys want to win the Witcher 3, please do type Witcher in chat right now. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, but when we come back, we're going to be getting in to bracket F. Stay tuned, guys. Witcher in chat if you want to win that key.
face the Titanist team of Majin, Asper, and Floria. The gate's going to be opening here shortly in 10 seconds, starting, of course, on the Grand Arena. Moving to the loser's pick. We're going to have to see how offensive this RMP chooses to be. And playing with a Disciplined Priest, they need to end the game fast. I wouldn't put it against them to go for an all-in on Floria. But they are in the Shroud of Concealment at the moment. Majin trying to pull them out of stealth with the Blizzard. This RMP very patient with their stealth. They always wait back. They're going to land the sap on a Majin, and he almost caught him with that Cone of Cold. Pushing in onto Floria, lands the full kidney. The shield wall used immediately here, trying to take him down in the opener, down to 60% into the Garrote Silence. He's going to Aura Mastery into a half kidney shot, down to 30%. Saved by the Lights, going to proc. Smoke Bomb comes out. Avenging Wrath, Execution Sense brings him back to 50%. Another Garrote Silence onto Floria, down to 28%. 25%. This RMP trying to take him out very rapid here. Knees now into a polymorph. They're trying to make a turnaround. Floria kites to the other side of the map, way too far away from Knees to do anything. He's going to be able to top himself off. In the meantime, TSX having to use his first ice block. He's actually going to cancel that and cold snap here to go offensive onto Floria, who is caught into a kidney shot here. The Avenging Wrath going to be fading as well as his big healing. Double Fear landed on the DPS. Majin and Trinkets, or blocks it. Asper Trinkets as well. Bubble out from Floria. Knees looking to try and Mass Dispel that off here shortly, not able to. They have finally broken through that bubble in the beginning of this game, and they're looking very dominant. Majin getting spam polyed here as Soz is cloned out. Floria constantly kiting pillar to pillar long distances and forcing this rogue to run such a long way. He gets crowd controlled in the meantime, crossing the map. Asper is going to get deep frozen here. TSX Frostjaws Majin in the full kidney lands onto Floria. Blazing speed out from TSX. He's trying to end the game here. Comet Storm comes in onto Floria, down to 50%. Double Ice Nova comes through. The shield wall is going to be enough, though. Execution Sense brings himself back up to 60, down to 55. Asper full clones Knees, trying to get some pressure rolling, but Rip Zonk is looking pretty good.
Yeah, this RMP is just able to put out the classic big burst onto Floria. They force the bubble. He's holding onto his two bobs right now, but keep in mind the mage pressure is going to go straight through that, and they have the MD ready if he does pop any of that. As for Majin and Floria, they're still keeping up right now. There's not really too much pressure going out right now. They're just trying to CC and line up for the next cooldowns for the time being. Floria going to be put into a full silencer, into a kidney out of that. He's taking a lot of pressure. He may be forced to bop that off. He will, and now he's going to try and pick himself up best he can. TSX, on the other hand, is going to be forced to paint the pressure from Neasy. He preemptively does that as you see he's getting cloned. Very good move. TSX, he's down to 40%, and he's going to possibly be able to get picked up here by Knees, but we're going to have to see what happens here. Both teams, a lot of pressure from both sides.
Yeah, they're going to have to make something happen quick. Soz reconnects onto Floria, lands that full kidney shot. Unfortunately, Knees is polyed, and TSX is trying to go offensive. He pops the Frozen Orb, blinks right on top of him, but a Hodge onto Soz is going to interrupt all this incoming damage. TSX trying to take him down, but there's the Root Solar Beam onto Knees. He stone forms out, desperately trying to pick up TSX here. He lands a Fear onto Asper. It's going to get dispelled by Floria prior to the Garrote Silence. Now into a full clone. Poly onto Majidin, though. TSX is very aware of the situation, trying to take Floria out. He's down to 30%. Asper trying to peel for his team. Clone Soz. He does Mass Dispel that Cyclone, though, and now a pre-silence onto Floria, saved by the Light Proxy. He's going to get locked out by TSX. He's dipping low here, down to 43%. Knees is life gripping his team to try and finish the job onto Floria. He doesn't have a lot of cooldowns left, down to 48%. Has to get some casts off here. There's no more interrupts remaining. He's going to get feared. He's going to bop himself down to 38%. The bop gets purged into the full kidney shot. He triggers it down to 10%, and Rip Zonk are going to rip Floria a new one here on the Grand Arena and proving us wrong, man. The underdogs taking him down.
I cannot believe that, dude. That intense pressure from that RMP. I don't think anybody, we were talking earlier, it's just not played that much anymore. I don't think we really expected it to take out this team, but so much pressure, so many cooldowns forced between both these games. They did such a good job being able to hold on to the game to the very end. It could have gone either way, but they were able to emerge victorious. Very well done. And we're going to move on now to game number 2. We're going to have to see if Repoly JK200 Ping can take this or possibly get back in the series over Rip Zonk, or maybe they might just take the whole thing. A lot of 2-0s today, man. My God. Not too many series so far.
I think that is the best strategy for the RMP, and Knees is doing a good job cross-CCing the DPS, fearing them. We saw early on he landed one double fear that forced an ice block out of Majin and the trinket out of Asper, and those are their two main ways to get out of CC, forced from one fear, and he was just consistently landing those. Crowd controlling Asper is important to keeping his team offensive. Like, Knees can get polyed as long as one of the DPS is polymorphed or feared. They're not going to be able to kill the target. Majidin
No.
can't solo the target, and Asper can't solo the target. They have to both be connecting and have crowd control on knees. So the RMP was aware of that, went for the best strategy to accomplish that, and it is just going after Faloria. And they were able to push through his cooldowns. And I like the fact that Knees is looking for those mass dispels on the Cyclones on his DPS, keeping his team as offensive as possible, life gripping them to Faloria. Like, get over here, like, we're ending this. And just playing together as a unit. And they kind of put Asper's team on the back foot. And it seemed like they were having a rough time trying to deal with that way that they were playing. So let's see if they can pull it off again, though, here on the map choice from Majidin. And they are going to go with Tolvaron Arena, I believe. So a much bigger map, much bigger distance to cover. It might be hard for Soz to reconnect as often as he did.
Let me take a look at this. Okay, Asper, Tolvaron Arena, right? That is Asper's best map. He has a 70% win rate on Tolvaron. So keep that in mind as we hop into this next game here. And I'm going to do a quick refresh with you, my man.
Yep. We've got BSX on the US.
But if there's a map for him, it's him.
On the EU. We've got BSX on the US.
But if there's a map for him, it's him.
I wish we had like a tournament database where we could see how their stats in tournament only settings. You know,
I was thinking about that last night, man. Yeah, like some kind of like wiki page or I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
something, a database somewhere. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I don't want to announce anything yet. I can't announce it yet on stream. But when I was putting together something, I was looking up the past winners of BlizzCon, right? And there is no comprehensive list anywhere of all the past winners of BlizzCon. I literally had to search through like 50 different articles to try and find who won this, who won that, who won that. You know, it's surprising, but I can't find it anywhere.
But either way, this game is going to be starting here. Rip Zonk playing very well together offensively against Repoly JK200 Ping, and they're always very aware of the stealth possibility here. Asper's actually getting run over by the entire team. He does land the Shadow Step Sap. Asper's going to get deep frozen. It was overlapped with the Silence a bit here. They land the full fear, full kidney onto Faloria. Smoke bomb in the opener. They're trying to take him out very quickly, down to 40%. He gives him freedom himself here on the Garrote, trying to kite away with that sprint. The Saved by the Light is going to proc nonetheless. The Avenging Wrath has to be used as well, and this is exactly what this RMP wants. Unfortunately, Soz caught into a bash now. Knees and a poly. They're trying to take Soz down. He does get that Cloak of Shadows off. Knees leaves the CC into another polymorph. Unfortunately, the Cloak of Shadows is going to fade. Cheap shots come out onto Asper. Majidin's not able to finish him off by himself. A Vanish used as well here. Root Soul everyone to Knees. He's going to Stone Form out of that. The Saving Graces are going to connect. Now Faloria caught into Kidney here. Barrier was kind of misplaced here, and Soz might end up going down in the deep freeze at 20%. Soz gets taken down here, and Repoly JK200 Ping slapping him in the face, saying, "Nope, not again, boys."
That'll do it. Oh my gosh. So they end that about a minute and 10 seconds into the game, and they are just able to take them down. I mean, I think a lot of it had to do with positioning there too. I saw Faloria, he was caught out in the open for a very good chunk of the game, and they may have just been like tunnel visioning him. And so, I mean, he just was able to drop down so quickly as he was also caught in the open. And I don't believe he had his Cloak of Shadows either. That was popped a little early. So it's a great swap onto that Rogue, and they were just able to take him down like that. Boom. So now we have our first series of the day, I believe.
1-1. Winner take all, man. Winner take all. Progress forward to fight against Rocket Gaming. And I mean, is that really a prize, man? You got to fight this team. Like, can you, are you like happy to win and have to fight them? I don't know. Maybe I guess you would be. I guess you have to be, right? You're a winner at least.
Yeah.
But we're looking for a map choice here, and I believe we have a map choice from the RMP. They're going to go with Dalaran Arena, and they really need these close distance maps. You can see when Soz gets kited into the open how quickly he goes down, and Repoly JK200 Ping was on top of their strategy that game. The first game, they seemed kind of disoriented as far as targets. They're kind of going in between TSX and Soz, and that game they committed to Soz, took him down with a good CC chain onto Knees that game, instantly reseeing his Stone Form on the Solar Beam and just shutting him down. He wasn't able to reconnect with Soz, but on a close quarter map, Soz and Knees should be able to stay with each other and land a lot more triple fears.
We shall see. We are in queue for Dalaran Sewers, my friend. We're about to get right into that. Just waiting on a Q Paparino. We should be in there fairly soon. This is probably one of the most exciting series of the day. I really love it, man. It's just so much big cooldowns that are able to go back and forth between these teams. One of them will drop, they pick themselves back up just barely. Then the other team will begin to drop, they pick themselves up just barely. It's like a series of 3 to 4 trades before somebody is able to go down, and they're just able to end it so early into these games.
Like that barrier, if it was 2 inches to the right, would have been on Soz. I think there's a certain point where Nees is getting CC'd too much that Soz needs to be like, okay, I can't chase this person anymore. I'm gonna run away, like, and just peel for a second, wait for him, and then go again. Because they got Stay by the Light proc, they got the Avenging Wrath. They just needed to just wait for that to go away. Survive and then go for the kidney shot Garrote and try and 100-0 him when you're a little bit more comfortable, because the situation that they win is with Asper and a Fear and a kidney shot on Faloria, and they need the cross CC to be able to win, or else Cyclones are going to come out, Polymorphs are going to get spammed, and they're just not going to be able to take them out with that much control. Either way, though, both teams tying it up here. We're going to be moving to Dalaran Arena as soon as the queue decides to pop.
We're just waiting on that right now.
So what I'm really looking for from the side of Rip Zonk this time around is a bit more defensive awareness. They are capable of all inning, like we already know that. So just being aware of when, like, okay, I need to be not here. I'm gonna go and run away for a couple seconds and then come back, because they got so many cooldowns out from Faloria earlier on. Obviously not the bubble, but they have Mass Dispel to deal with the bubble. They have the purges to deal with the bop. So those aren't even the major cooldowns they need to get out of the way. They need to get the Avenging Wrath out of the way. They need to get the Saved by the Light proc, and they got both of those. So if they're a little bit more patient once they get those procs, I really think that they're definitely capable of taking it. We're going to have to find out, though, in reality here. We can talk about theory all we want, but if they can't do it, they can't do it.
That's what it's all about. Let's get a refresh going up on here as we get into Dalaran Soars for the last of this series. And keep in mind, the team that does lose this will go down to the losers bracket, so they are not out of the tournament completely just yet. So keep that in mind. And we do have 2 more games coming right up after this here. So the RMP El Clasico versus Majidin, Asper, and Falora on this very unique and bursty comp. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. The gates are open. Here we go. Super Tease, you want to take it, my man?
Yep, the Shroud Concealment coming out from the RMP. They're going to be trying to dodge these early blizzards. Faloria running right into their clutches. Does appear like they're going to be able to get the sap onto Majidin and full kidney onto Faloria. Majidin actually trinkets the sap here to try and get some pressure onto Soz. Preemptive evasion comes up from Soz to try and avoid a bash. Asper gets feared. 3v1 onto Faloria into the half-yard kidney shot here. And he's dipping low, down to 20%. Avenging Wrath execution sentence brings himself back up to 60%. Preemptive pain suppression out from Nees. He was expecting a CC chain there. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Now the Root Solar Beam comes out. The pain suppression is faded. Soz could be in trouble. Nees Stone forms out into a half bash. Soz down to 50% here. Denounces are coming out. He does put the full kidney shot out. Frozen Orb out there. He's going to cloak at 20%. Nees into a Cyclone. Killing Spree actually being used here. It's going to force the bubble down at 12%. Nees trying to pick up Soz here. He does go for the Master Spell. He gets the bubble off. Faloria has to deal with the kick still out from Soz. Asper in a gouge right now. Nees looking to land a fear here. He did fear, I believe it was missed, or it was triggered instantly by Asper. The Cyclone's going to get kicked here. Faloria kites across the center of the map, forcing TSX and Soz to chase after him, and they're going to get crowd controlled while they try and cross the center here. Faloria into a poly, now into a kidney. Asper in a deep freeze, lands the Ring of Frost. Silence on the Majidin, 3v1 onto Faloria. Can they take him down is the question. Down to 50% here. The shield wall comes out. Comet Storm comes through. Full blind on the Asper with no trinket. Faloria desperately trying to run away. Poly's on the Majidin. He does get the Dispel on it. He's going to be able to line of sight. Shadow Fiend is out for Nees. They're going to try and take him down here and now. Asper going for some Cyclones here. He's going to be able to line of sight. There's the full Root Solar Beam out from Asper, but Faloria in the Smoke Bomb kidney shot. Trinkets throws the Hodge. I believe it was trinketed instantly by Nees. By Soz. He's trying to keep the pressure onto Faloria. He's going to bop himself out of that kidney. Now Soz is exposed here. He has Cloak of Shadows available should he choose to use it. Feint being spammed down to 30%. Nees leaving this final polymorph. Asper looking for a Cyclone onto Soz. He does get it at low.
Trying to learn that up, man. They're trying to line up the burst.
Rotates it over. Down to 10%. He's barely alive here. He's trying to line of sight here. Gets the Vanish off. He should be able to sit in stealth and be fine here shortly, though.
Yeah, that was beautiful. They were trying to land they landed a clone on a knees there, and then they landed the clone on the Soz at the same time, and they were just trying to line up the burst so effectively. And just a beautiful cloak of shadows that came out from Soz at the end there was able to stop that and prevent his death preemptively in the game. Now Falora facing pressure here from Rip Zank. He's dropping down to 50% here, caught in the kidney. He's gonna respond to that with the Venging Breath and possibly pick himself back up as Soz gets put into a full Hammer of Justice here. Into the bash, he drops down to 20% here. Nees is caught a Solar Beam, and he will drop down, and Repoly JK200 Ping will take the series over Rip Zank. Very well set up. And that big damage, man, from TSX, I mean, he had just so much damage, but it just wasn't enough. A beautiful Solar Beam that came out from Asper at the end there was just able to line that up with Mages and his burst. Like you said, when they connect, they land kills. And it was beautiful, man.
They are going to secure themselves a spot in the semifinals to go up against Rocket Gaming. Who can take them down is the question. We're going to find out tomorrow as far as that series is concerned. But for now, we're going to move to losers round 1. The first series we're going to be seeing. I'm not sure. Did Blizzo forfeit for the entire tournament? Or Jim's team?
If he's online,
yeah,
I don't see any reason why he shouldn't play the losers bracket. But
the other thing is Jim. I think Jim said he had something he needed to deal with and wasn't able to play to Giga early on.
Right.
I wrong about that? So Jim's not going to be able to play. I'm pretty sure. I'm not wrong, am
I'm
I?
going to double check all that now, but that's what I was told earlier, yeah.
Might be an awkward situation.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, then we're gonna be seeing I Wish BM Was Viable going up against Botar's Toxic Youth. It was possibly going to be a DK Rogue Paladin Smoke Bomb Cleave against Jungle Cleave, and we know what happens to Resto Shamans against Smoke Bomb Cleave. I think we know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not sure.
But we'll be able to find out here shortly. It might be only one more series left for the day, if that is the case.
Could well be, man.
Jim did just come back online.
Hey, okay. I mean, it's gonna be like, I don't know, how do you determine that? I mean, are both the teams offline for that one series, or because yeah, it's. How does one determine that? That is the question.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let me take a look if I have any notes for these two teams here, because I had a lot of like interesting statistics and stuff. So let me take a look here real quick, see if I have anything written down from. Jim, where would you be at? Okay. This is pretty cool. So Jim has played more arenas than Walkrix, actually. 17,000 arenas lifetime, and has won 11,000 of them. So we were talking a little earlier. Hey, what do you think, Steve? Is that a lot of arenas? Not a lot of arenas? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like I had like 13,000 in Kata. And it's 2 expansions from now. So I'm actually going to look up how many statistic games I have. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying. I could be lying. Am I a liar?
I wonder what the statistic is on how much damage Big Damage Walkrix has done.
Recorded damage.
Recorded damage.
Statistics. Arena. Player versus player arena. I don't know. I only have 18,600 played on my main druid.
Okay.
So maybe that is reasonably a large amount of games.
It's a pretty decent amount. By the way, this Jim team, their best arena is Toviran.
Seems like
And-
that's everyone's best arena.
Yeah, it really is, man. Like everyone has a very high win rate on it in this tournament, and typically across the board, Runes of Lordaeron tends to be everyone's worst. But they're actually pretty even with this team. They have a 65.8% win rate on it, and in Runes of Lordaeron, they have a 62.3% win rate on it. So overall, I mean, the team is fairly even across the board on these maps. You know, it's a sign of a good team. You know.
Yep. And I'm actually wondering if that statistics page might be bugged.
It could be.
I'm just pointing that out because it seems like everyone has a similar amount of wins, and maybe and I know it's been.
Well, no,
bugged
not at all.
sometimes.
Actually,
No?
there's different amounts. Like some people have only 3,000 arenas done. Others have over like 17,000. So I don't think that statistic is bugged necessarily, but there's a lot
The
of
win
variance
rates
around it.
could maybe
Yeah, the win
be.
rates could be. I mean, I calculated them myself. I just pulled up their matches played, win-loss ratio. You know.
But, I don't think that the Blizzard team is ready. So are we just moving to the next series? I'm guessing. Okay. They're both disqualified. Okay.
4 minutes.
Does that mean
That
Rip
means-
Zank will get a bye for their next?
Yeah,
game?
that will. Yeah. According to the rules, yeah. If they're both getting disqualified, that means that Rip Zonk is going to go to losers round 3 for tomorrow.
So we could potentially see Rip Zonk versus Asper again in the finals.
Yep, you could.
Could be a possibility.
Nice.
But
I like
this
that.
series,
I want to see that series again.
I want to see Walrus fight Asper's team because I don't see that comp matchup ever. But he's got a long way to go. He's got to go through
Yeah.
K, M, N, O, and then he's back there. So he's gonna have to take down Botar's team, and then he's gonna have to take down Loser of E. Now my brain is not tracking all of this right. Wait, Loser of E was.
Loser of E. La, 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 la.
Oh no, that was Walrus. Walrus doesn't have to go that far. My mistake.
Yeah.
He only has to go from round 2. But he's going to face the winner of this series, I should say. So this is going to be possibly a smoke bomb cleave, possibly a roguelock druid. They have a lot of compositions available to them. They're going to be fighting a jungle cleave, and I would imagine they're going to be sticking with the jungle cleave. I wish BM was viable. So. Yeah.
Okay.
So I wish BM was viable versus Toxic Youth. I don't think Duder's online for my wish BM was viable. So if anybody has his contact information, might want to tell me he needs a login. Oh no, there he is. I'm sorry.
You've got a game to play, man. You want some money?
Yeah.
This is $1,000. You
Can
just
I get
gotta
a
log
resident
in.
sleeper in chat?
You gotta log in. I mean, you want $1,000? Would you log in for $1,000? I guess not. Maybe he's rich. Maybe he doesn't need it. I guess. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'd log in for $1,000.
I mean, yeah. Like if somebody was like, "Hey, you want to play a video game? You can make $1,000." I'd be like, yeah." I would
Maybe
log
an
in.
hour
I
of your
think,
life.
at least. I would at least log in.
I-
I mean, you.
I
gotta
give it a
take the
shot,
odds.
you know? I don't know, man. Resident sleeper, dude. I'm telling you.
Resident sleeper.
That's what it's all about, dude.
What happens if you put a resident sleeper inside of a resident sleeper?
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna,
I don't know what happened. I think you
Look
get a
it
kappa?
I'll type it out, dude. I'll type it out. There you go. That's what it is. That's what you get. A resident sleeper inside of a resident sleeper.
Oh, my God. GG.
Let's see, man. This is going to be the last series of the day, ladies and gentlemen. I wish
Yeah.
BM was viable going up against Toxic Youth. Both teams getting shut down early on are going to have to battle their way through the losers bracket to make their way back to the finals. And we will be determining their opponent tomorrow. At the same time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am forgetting what time that is in Central
I think
European
it's 7 p.m. Central European time. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure that's the
It
same
is.
time.
It is.
Oh, 7. Okay, so 7.
It's CET. And we will do the rest of the losers bracket and the semifinals and finals tomorrow. So a really big day cut out in front of us. And I'm not exactly sure are the
As soon as the players are ready to go, it'll be up
dream.
to show this series in front of us. Man, May is almost over.
Oh my God,
We're
that's
almost
right.
into June. I'm
Good.
just
That means
looking
my
at
birthday's coming up. Yay.
How old are you, Giga?
Birthday's on Thursday. I will be turning 28 years old.
Wow, you're old.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Kids are all
I'm like-
babies.
I'm like middle young aged. Middle young aged. I'm starting to get to the old side of being young.
I am
not
definitely
excited.
an adult, contrary to popular
I
belief.
think you were an adult 10 years ago.
I don't know, man. When
I
you-
don't believe that.
Giga,
No?
when you wear those glasses, man, I don't know, man. The throws me off.
We have to
I'll
get a
shave or
cameo.
something for BlizzCon and just like disappear into the crowd. No one will know who I am.
Oh no, you can't do that, man. Do that.
Wear the
It's gonna be an
bandana and the
exciting
goggles.
BlizzCon
Bring
this
those
year,
to BlizzCon. Bring those goggles and bandana to BlizzCon.
Yes,
Then I'll be able to
please
recognize
do.
it. Like,
Alright.
oh, that's Giga. I see him over there. Giga!
I actually met you. Was it you?
I don't
I think
think
it
you
was
met
you at
me.
the last BlizzCon.
I don't
Yeah, I
think you
did. Because people kept calling you Daticus. Maybe it was somebody else.
Nobody called me Daticus. Tell you that much.
Yeah, I can even link you the picture, and I'm pretty sure it's you. But
Oh,
it,
link me
like
the
they even in the
picture.
picture, it even says like everyone's name left to right, and then where like you are just says like Daticus for some reason. Like okay,
Give me the picture. I don't think you're.
I
right.
will. I'll find it. I'll find it.
Is it at that restaurant?
Yeah.
Did you go to that? No, it doesn't.
No,
it
no,
said
no, no, no.
Safeties above my head. I was
Did it?
standing next to
Okay.
Benji, I think, in Wound Man.
Yeah. It was like all the streamers, right? Yeah.
I don't know. It was all the streamers. I don't know exactly what group it was. There were a lot of people.
Hey, Dottie Shack, what's going on, dude? My goodness.
I
Yeah, I'm
wish
pumped.
this
I'm so
too
pumped for
would
BlizzCon
work.
this year. Hey,
Oh,
we got
nice. It works.
Beautiful. Finally.
All right, here we go.
Game, my friends.
Bring us the games,
The game.
and we're gonna refresh so that we're all in the same game.
Beautiful.
All right, they're going to be running that smoke bomb cleave. They were playing it in the last series, did pretty well with it. Not able to win, obviously, but they did output quite a bit of pressure onto knees. And Joxy playing the Restoration Shaman is going to have a similar situation here, and he doesn't have a lot of. He doesn't have any immunity effects here playing Jungle Cleave. He's really just going to be relying on the pressure that Taz and Dudu can put out, and he's going to have to be using his Spirit Links to survive the damage coming out from Toxic Youth. And maybe both teams are going to go for a healer race. I could see that as a possibility.
Could well be. I mean, with this DK Rogue combo, I mean, we saw them. They were just focusing those healers so hard in their last series, and they may well look to go for that as well. Especially, I mean, these are both very quick kill comps, so you're probably not going to go to dampening. So it may well be the strategy. We'll have to see. Ladies and gentlemen, gates are open. Here we go.
Yep, and the flare is dropped down by Taz. Very defensive posture out from the Jungle Cleave here, but Taylor's going to push in, lands the full sap onto Joxy. They're going to kidney him out of that and just go right onto him, cutting through his Earth Shield here very quickly, down to 40% already. The kidney just fading. He drops the Spirit Link in between the CC chain, but it's not going to be enough. Down to 20%. Soul Reaper's up. Soul Reaper ticks. Cenarian Ward comes out with Heart of the Wild. Is it going to be enough? He's still having a hard time. Down to 40%. Pops the Ascendance. Gets these Aura Mastery heals. Now the counter pressure being put onto Botar, down to 40%, has to use his Avenging Wrath, gets a big heal onto himself, topping himself back off through the cooldowns. Joxy with no Spirit Links remaining into the full kidney with no Trinket. The Smoke Bomb comes down as well. Explosive Trap knocks back the Death Knight here. Now into the half asphyxiate, into the Garrote Silence, down to 15%. 1 second Watch connects, and Joxy's going to get taken out. Is not going to be able to deal with Toxic Youth's pressure.
That was incredible. So the Druid on their team, I saw there, he was trying his best to Dudu Pharaoh, he was trying his best to throw some heals into Joxy, but it just was not enough. So much pressure. I mean, he just ended up healing for him in the end there, I believe. But it's just so much pressure from this team. I mean, let's be honest here, a Rogue, it's probably a Shaman's worst nightmare. That and the Priest, too. But, I mean, that kind of melee comp, you just train the healer, and they'll just flop.
Yeah, they're gonna have to find a different way to deal with it. We can see that Dudu Farrell actually only did 200,000 healing with Heart of the Wild. I don't think Heart of the Wild is the right decision. I feel like it's such a weak talent after being nerfed, and that Nature's Vigil would be better suited for them because if they don't do any damage, they're not going to win. So if he's healing and cloning and keeping him alive, sure, okay. How long can you do that? Definitely not indefinitely. So I don't think it's going to work out for them. I'd prefer him to go Nature's Vigil and just go for the Incarn Kitty one shot onto Botar and try and cut through him very quickly. I'd like to see more Snake Trap routes. I believe that he's playing Survival. I feel like they should be able to root the melee a lot longer than that with Master's Call and Freedom, and Joxy should be able to kite a bit better than that. This time around, it seemed like he just locked himself in place, wasn't moving, and they weren't output any counter pressure really to force Botar that defensive, and he was able to just participate with damage, throwing that 1 second Hodge even at the end of the game. So I'd like to see a bit of a strategy change up here, a little bit better kiting out from the Jungle Cleave side, but it does look hard for them nonetheless.
Absolutely does. And I'm getting word here. Giga, you get to pick the map this time, huh?
Yeah, they're letting me pick the map. I wish BM was viable says
Pick
that they
Blade's Edge
trust
'cause
me.
it hasn't been played. Pick it because it hasn't been played. Do it.
Blade's Edge? No, but that's Z-Axis. That's not very
It
fair.
hasn't been played yet today. We haven't seen it at all. Give Blade's Edge some love. You won't.
Okay.
You
Okay.
won't.
But then you're picking the map. Gig is not picking the map.
Nah.
JK, Blade's Edge. Blade's Edge.
Well, you're the one that's putting the buttons in. I can't control the buttons.
Oh, you have me under your complete control, Seppa.
You're my map selection slave.
Blade's Edge, my friend. The dream. I will reload the page real quick. As we get into what could well be the very last game of today. I wish BM was viable, needs one to hold on, while Toxic Youth needs one to take the series. We're about to find out what is going to happen, my friend.
Quick refresh. Is this Prey? I think it's Prey. I called him Taylor. It's just easier to read the names, but it was Prey last game, so I'm assuming it still is. Taking that game there in the first round pretty convincingly. Let's see how this Jungle Cleave deals with the pressure this time around on Giga / my selection for the map on Blade's Edge. Just because I haven't seen it yet today and I want to see a series played out on it. Let's see how they can deal with the Z-axis here. Explosive Trap is going to be a lot more useful. They might look to set up Nox on the top of the bridge. Let's see if they're able to get to that position and comfortably do it. The Mass Stealth going to be coming out here for the side of Toxic Youth. They're going to be pushing forward very quickly on the bottom of the map. They're going to be running over Dudu Farrell here shortly. Might not be able to see him, though. They do sap Joxy. He does preemptively have the Earth Shield up. They grip him down below and smoke bomb him on the bottom.
Baby.
Sick play out from Toxic Youth, but Joxy drops the Freedom Totem. He's able to kite away, and he's just running like a puppy at the moment, kiting like a god, and he kited that entire Adrenaline Rush out. Dudu Farrell caught a Hodge, 68 onto Taz here. The Gargoyle getting popped here onto Joxy, but they're just not able to connect. Dudu Farrell tricketing there, trying to get some pressure rolling onto Botar. He got locked out, down to 20% HP, pops the Avenging Wrath. He's able to top himself off with that very quickly. Pry sitting some roots here in the center. He does finally get freedomed out of it. Explosive Trap knocked away, and Joxy looks almost untouchable this time around.
Yeah, he absolutely does. Botar, he's looking to play for the top right now, as Joxy does drop down, and Taylor is going to be right behind him to follow. DJ Fred, Botar is taking a lot of damage too, and the bubble will be popped and forced from him, as Joxy also drops down to 30%. Breath of Cindergrosa does go out, and Joxy is going to be caught in a half DR pet stun for the moment. His Soul Reaper is up. He's down to 15% now, down to 20. He's facing a lot of pressure. Healing Surge barely keeping him up for the time being, as this DK and Rogue just continue to train onto Joxy, and it is just slapping him right across the face.
Yeah, but Botar with no bubble available is down to half HP right now, 47% HP. Dudu Farrell and Taz trying to do the best that they can. They do lock Botar on his cast into a maim stun. He's going to get the bop off. I don't think the purge is... He actually purged it off! See by the light, it's going to proc. He's getting the cast off. He has to get some cast off here. Joxy staying right on top of him, dispels the Hodge into a full gouge. Nice roots out from Taz. CC them all. Murder of Crows is going to seal the game here. Botar dipping low, 7% HP remaining. Can they take him down is the question, and Botar goes down there. there. Pride trying to put Taylor or Taz into a kidney, not going to be able to take him down. And I wish BM was viable, kiting significantly better here on Blades Edge Arena, tying this game up 1-1.
Caw, my friend. They do take it, and now it is a 1-1 series between I Wish BM Was Viable and Toxic Youth. So we have a series on our hand, my friend, in this losers bracket number 2. We're going to have to see which one of these are going to be able to take it. So, last and final map of the series. Do you think they're going to give us the pick again, or what do you think?
I mean, how could they not give Giga the pick? I mean, every time you give me the pick, you win the game. Might as well. Bot comes out and says, "Told you, you bring me luck. Never expected to win one game against DK Rogue. Anytime."
Oh my god.
Well, at least they learned that Blades is just a good map for them.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I bet you Boater picks Tolveron though, and finish.
They could go runes.
Yeah, runes. Pretty good.
They can end the game so much faster than that if they're just able to connect. And the map really did help. Joxy.
I was kind of suspect about I Wish BM Was Viable dropping down below because that D access is kind of their advantage too. Did you see Dudu whiff that Typhoon too, like mid game? Just completely missed.
It might have been on DR. The DR is with the explosive trap. I didn't see him do it.
That is true.
But
Ring
I
of
guess
Valor.
if it's on DR, it's still a whiff. Ring of Valor. I wish, man.
Ring of Valor.
I
think he might have gotten caught in the lip too. It might have not been a whiff, but the Rogue might have gotten caught on the lip of the bridge. But he didn't get
I mean, we can by command put in Ring of Valor.
Can you
But
do
I
it
don't
by
know.
command? Do it.
Absolutely can. Should
If
we do
the
it?
other team agrees, if the other team agrees.
Okay,
ask the
other team has to agree to Ring of Valor though. Whisper them and ask them if they agree to Ring of Valor. And I will
Wait, do
keep
you know the command?
Yes, it's Ring is the command. So I will send it over to you right now, and we will do
Ask the other team.
the very first competitive.
I am. I'm
if
asking
they
him.
agree. If they agree.
You guys down?
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't play Ring, they're just gonna pick runes, right? Like if they don't accept Ring for fun, like they're gonna pick runes anyway.
They said no.
They're gonna pick runes anyway. Tell them that. Tell them that. They're probably gonna pick runes anyway. Tell them that. Tell them that. I mean, it's the same, dude. I want to see some Glory Day Ring of Valor, dude.
I want to too, man.
Come on.
We have the
No,
technology
just
to
pick
make this
runes.
possible.
It's
No,
the
they
same
picked Tiger
map.
Speak.
Oh wait, never mind.
Tiger
Okay.
Speak.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
How about we play this out and then they play again just for fun on Ring?
We can ask them that if they want to do that. That would be a lot of fun.
Do you have anything you can give them for doing that? Do you have a code or something? They'll play this for competitive sake, and then we can play Ring for fun's sake.
That'd be fun. I'd like to see that.
You should make the champions do it though.
Oh, yeah, we could do that too.
Like the finals. You know?
Yeah, it is the last match of the day, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We could do it. Yeah, if they're down to play after this one.
Yeah, I mean, if they're willing to.
An exhibition match.
Exhibition match.
If the teams agree to play on Ring of Valor after this will be not the last game of the day, but speaking specifically, it is the last game of the tournament for today. And these teams are tied up 1-1. How will Joxy deal with the pressure on Tiger's Peak this time around?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Botar didn't pick Runes of Lordran makes me feel like they are afraid of Botar dying, and that sense of fear of death might end up losing them a game here. If you play a little bit too passively as an all-in comp, it can cost you. So let's see if Joxy can kite similarly as he did last time, dropping that Windwalk Totem in full evacuation to the other side of the map. If he's able to do it again here on Tiger's Peak. And this Toxic Youth with their mass stealth are going to be able to cross the center of the map. Flare gets dropped down. Defensive posture again. It does knock trap them out of stealth. They're not going to get the Sap Kidney opener. There's the Kidney, though. Mark of Death. Botar already getting swapped to here. He's going to get trapped. Joxy getting chunked, though, down to 50% here into the full Strangulate. He's going to Stone Form that, drop the first Spirit Link of the game. Botar popping his Avenging Wrath preemptively here to answer the incoming damage as the Murder of Crows gets used, and Incarnation. Joxy still at 50%. Breath of Cinder, Ghosta ripping him apart, down to 40%, 30%. Joxy desperately trying to stay alive, pops the Ascendance Orb Master, gets some big healing surges out here. This breath is just endless, finally stopping into a Garrote Silence now onto Joxy, trap onto DJ Fear. It does get dispelled by Botar. The Killing Spree coming out onto Joxy, and he's bravely sitting through it without trinketing, down to 30%. He trinkets the cheap shot, drops the second Spirit Link, and it's not looking good. But in the meantime, Botar gets locked out, down to 40%. He's going to Freedom Kite away here. Dudu Feral reconnects, puts him into the full bash, might force him into the bubble. Saved by the Light is going to be fading here shortly. He's going to bubble at 25%, and suddenly both healers are out of cooldowns.
They absolutely are. Botar, the bubble was forced to them as the Smoke Bomb does go out on the Joxy. He's caught in it right now with the rest of his team. The Strangulate does go on him. This could well be the kill here. He drops down to 70%, 8%, and the Soul Reaper will take, and he will drop down, and that'll do it. Toxic Youth will take the series.
They're not giving up. They're still going after Botar. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Kidney shot, yeah, the kidney shot's going to make them leave. All right, so Ring
So that'll
of
do it.
Valor. Ring.
I hope so. Will they do it?
I'm actually more
ask.
excited to watch this
Ring
if
of
they
Valor.
do this than anything else.
Yes,
I haven't
me too,
seen that
actually.
map in so long. Please, 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 somebody play on Ring of Valor. Somebody. Any team that's in chat that wants to play on Ring right now, anybody, please.
Anybody. We just want to see it, man.
Please. Please.
Shaman Dream. Kappa. Want to do Ring of Valor. Okay. Will.
It's just for
Yeah,
fun.
just for fun.
Please. I just want to see Ring.
They'll do it. Okay,
Begging.
so what's the command?
Oh, the one
How do I
team will
do
do it. How do you do it?
Okay, yeah, so let me you have to get the name of the lead of the group. So let me get that real quick. I believe that actually
Go into the past.
we are heading there, man.
I want to see this. I want to see this, man.
I do too, man. I have to find the exact command for it. I believe it is that is executed in this, and I'm trying to find where it is. I believe I had it written down. I know I have it written down somewhere on my computer, so you guys have to give me like probably 2 minutes to find it. So give me a moment here, guys. This is coming way back.
I am holding a screwdriver. Just want to let you know that
Okay.
while you're searching for this.
Oh my goodness. Okay. No. Okay, so it's not in there. I think it's in here. I want to say. Spectator. Here we go. Okay. So, let me pull this document up real quick, and I will send you over the command for the Ring of Valor. If you give me one moment here. If it'll load. It should. Here we
I
go.
kind of understand how it would work in war games. I don't understand how it would work in spectator mode. It's like a different command set, right?
No, I got you here. Okay, so can you give me the leaders of the two teams? Okay,
Yeah, I
so that's
put 'em
it
in
there.
Skype.
Okay. All right, perfect. So I'm going to give you the commander. Match. And then we're going to have... And Control C that, Control V that. And this is going to be on 3. And the map is Ring. Okay. Try that command out.
Okay.
You get anything?
No.
Try taking out the ruin.
You don't have enough
So-
space in your chat log to type all of it. Look at your chat.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think you do.
I would
Do you?
take out the servers. Either that or you can try it with like their battle tags as well.
With their battle tags.
Try just taking out the servers first and just with their regular names.
Okay. Oh yeah, that worked.
That works.
Oh, it
Beautiful.
worked?
Yeah, that
Nice.
worked. There's no servers.
Wait, wait,
Nice, Ring of Valor, coupon.
Is it really Ring
boys.
of Valor though? Is it really Ring of Valor?
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
loading.
Oh,
It's
shit.
loading. It's
Oh
loading.
my god, the hype is real.
It's loading, man.
shit.
It's been so long. I wonder if the
God.
pillars still move.
Oh, they do, man. They do.
Oh man.
Oh,
refresh, refresh.
So this is the very first.
How about can
Ring of
you
Valor.
whisper them and say
Oh,
neither
okay.
team is allowed to go on the other team's
So
healer?
this is the very first.
Force
Oh.
them to play a longer game. Neither team. I want to see this map for a longer time.
Oh yeah.
Just whisper them, say no healer training.
God. So Ring of Valor, man. This map was eliminated from arenas back, I believe, in Mist of Pandaria. So we're going way back, man. And this used to be my favorite map in Cataclysm.
Dude, this is like the best map. Like,
Man,
It is,
try
man.
out
I'm
smoke
so
bomb,
mad.
dude. He fat fingered the smoke bomb.
Uh-oh.
did he really?
What's he gonna do? Yeah, he just fat fingered his smoke bomb.
Oh, jeez.
That's
He's
awkward.
already feeling the pressure, man. He's like, wow, I don't know what to do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ring of Valor in a show match. Here we go.
Let's see if they're able to connect the same way they did last time. Cheap shot onto Taz here early on. Gargoyle out onto Joxy. Offensive execution sense onto Joxy as well. Kiting to the opposite pillar side, trying to run through the open. There's nowhere to go. Botar using the Avenging Rat. Joxy's dipping low. So much damage. Double eviscerate into the Garrote. Into that 1 second kidney shot down at 40%. Drops the Spirit Link here in Ring of Valor. The Breath of Cindergosa coming out. And all the players are dead.
GG. What in God's
Dude.
name?
I don't know what happened, but they're all dead.
Dude, what the hell just happened?
Oh,
Did the
what,
fire
mate?
kill everybody?
Is there even fire on this map?
I thought there was. I thought fire came up from the thing.
What do you mean? There's a timer on the map.
Oh, really?
Rip.
It's another Blizzard move. We want to play a game, and Blizzard refuses to let us.
I mean, we
Thanks,
can always
Blizzard.
just like change the rules. You got to do triple DPS, and you only have like a minute to kill somebody.
All those
Oh.
players are banned. Just watch. They're all banned. They get mad at
Yeah.
us.
Rip.
Dude, look how big this map is. I've never seen it out on this map before.
I thought a G. You know that like GMs have this like thing that they wear, and you can just instantly kill everybody around you. So I thought that like a GM had just came into that map and just like ripped
Kill
everyone's dead. Yeah.
What are you guys doing here?
Oh my god, we're getting the spectator perspective right now.
I never realized how great this map really is. Look, there's even like a bench over here. You can hang
Yeah, there's
out.
everything.
It's beautiful, man.
Imagine if they like
That's where the
green
king goes,
screened the actual BlizzCon audience into the stage in the back.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Like green, it wouldn't look very good, but you'd be like, "Oh my god, we're there."
Bet you Synapse could do it. I don't understand the lore of this map. Why are there both horde sides?
Ring of Valor would be really good if they had like two pillars that were always up, and then like you could leave two other ones that like rotate, and then you could choose to be like, all right, we're gonna go rotate here because we want to try and go up, but now we need a pillar. I really feel like this map could have actually been saved.
Yeah,
But-
I think what was it? They removed it because of like Hunter's pets getting stuck on pillars or something. Yeah, it was a
the
pretty
pillars
map.
moved.
Unfortunate. All right. Yeah, I love it too. It's one of my personal favorites. Maybe we'll see it return one day. The dream, if only. Either way, I think that the teams are done for now. So that was a great show match and a lot of fun today, guys. So tomorrow, when we come back, exact same time, it's going to be 7 CET, and I believe that is 1 p.m. EST, and then let's do some math real quick. That would be 10 p.m. PST, or 10 a.m. Excuse me, PST.
10 a.m.
We
yeah.
will have the semifinals and the finals and losers round 3, and we're gonna see who will advance to the very end of this tournament. It's an exciting time, guys. We invite you all to come back with us. Thank you so much for tuning in with us and having a great time with us today, guys. And we hope to see you back tomorrow. Stay tuned, and we'd like to thank everybody on our team for their amazing work. Let me just give it a moment and let me shut them out real quick. La 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 la. We have Alex, Meth, Dandelion. We have Frank, Giga, Gordon, Michael, Moron, Signups, Possum, Reinhardt, and of course Supatees. We're all joining us today. So with that, guys, I will send it off. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we will see you tomorrow for day number 2 of the European $1,000 Invitational. Take care, everybody. Are we muted?